How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the stream. Hope everybody's having a wonderful, beautiful day. Boys, how y'all doing tonight? Welcome back, welcome back. This evening, we got ourselves more 5v5 1v1 duels. These are hosted today, Saturday, over on the NA. Day before that, Friday, EU. You guys are all welcome to join in. This is a big community event we run every single weekend, and yeah, if you guys want to join in, you know exactly when, exactly where. Groups will be listed over in the LFG. I'll show you guys exactly where the groups are going to be tonight. If you guys want to join them, you're more than welcome to. But how you boys all doing? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a good one. Last night we had some fantastic duels, dude. We had so much fun. My man Cracker showed up. Talion joined in. Jesus came over in the Death Knight. We had a bunch of boys playing in. Not too many sub-rogues. Even though Glitch was playing, we didn't have too much of that sub-rogue ultimate domination either. And this week, we also got a lot of class changes. I forgot that there was a lot of class stuff, like Shaman's getting buffed up. Not for PvE, well, PvP, but like PvE. I actually had a Shaman yesterday. I don't know if he was expected to get buffed up or not. We got Fury Warrior buffs, Outlaw Rogue buffs, and a couple more others, man. I kind of want to pull them up real quickly if I can. Hey, y'all did PTR duels? I was trying to see if I can get 10 people together, Chris. I was hoping to get some PTR duels. We'll try that next week. How does that sound? Because there's so many classes out there, dude, on PTR that are wild. And dude, you think Pallies are looking wild? Bro, you haven't seen anything yet. How y'all doing? What's up, Always Calm? How you doing, my man? Hope you're having a good one. I would love to do a PTR duel sometime, though, while the numbers are wild over there, while Paladins have not been toned down at all. I would love to be able to feature some of the builds that are kind of coming up, even though it's all in development. None of these changes are like really final, but Pally's got like a 30-yard range build, but they can just hit from like a miles away. Yes, exactly, 160k incinerates. Dude, destruction about to have no chill, man. You either pumping big chaos bolts, opening up portals into the twisting nether that are just tickling the soul of your enemies until they die. That, or you're blasting them with incinerates that are hitting sometimes harder than a chaos bolt, because fire damage is a big good. Boys, that's also fun tonight, yeah? Don't Warlocks also have like a crit damage amplifier, or is that only for like the chaos, soul shard spenders? How does that work again? Yo, down my man, what's up, Nikolai, my man? Hope you're having a good one, my guy. It's late, down my man. What's up, Arcade, my man? Messages, how you doing, my guy? Hope you're having a good one. Credit beautiful, always calm. We got Jake, my boy, in here. Also, chat, I can't scroll up for some reason. Why is that? Oh, no, I can. Wait, no, I can't. Okay, cool. I can't scroll up on YouTube chat. Awesome, wonderful. Yo, let's get ourselves some 5v1s going, boys, yeah? We are gonna try to see next week if we can get some rolling in PTR. I would love to. I would love to. Do you know the Beast Mastery can 2-shot and 2 globals? 2 kill. You set up, you throw in a chakram, you have a Bestial Wrath ahead of time. So pop Bestial Wrath, toss in a chakram, let it start ripping right through the enemy target. Hit him with a Bloodlet where your pet does more damage. Kill command, have their health. Kill command, good. It's so strong. They thought like, you know what, let's buff kill command by 25%. And it's like, yeah, that's gonna go over well. I thought that was a good idea. And I'm like, yeah, it's gonna go well. Yep, I think they're gonna like this one. I know they gotta nerf the bow, right? I get it, they gotta nerf the bow, but man, you gotta start thinking about PvP as well too. Beast Mastery, like, they're about to be popping off, man. About to be biz spec all around, no matter what you're doing. Yo, Aura, my man, how you doing? Anybody forming groups? I'll start one real quickly. I think Chicago may already be starting one. Can we get a hashtag Aura in chat? Hopefully having a good one, my man. Yo, how you doing? Welcome back to the members club. I don't know why. There goes my alert. I was gonna say for a second, where is my alerts at? But here they are. My guy, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Woo. Love you, buddy. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful evening. Yo, let's get ourselves Chicago. Got a group. We got Seavark. We got Tank in there. We got the boys in there. Let me start a second group, by the way, if you guys want to join in. We got a second group. Seavark is part of one. With Chicago and all of them. But I do want to start a second one. Hopefully we'll get my man Chill Pills in here, because Chill Pills was wondering, like, are we doing PTR? Are we doing live? Because he was actually excited about doing some PTR stuff. Just because Death Knights are looking kind of good. The fact that you can bank up an extra obliteration crit with your killing machine, like you can get 2 stacks of it, Not meaning that the way that I also had some comments before, like, wait, 2 stacks, what does he mean by that? So when you get 2 kill machine stacks, you don't consume them both at once. Like 1 stack of kill machine makes it so you next obliterate crits. So you can basically bank up 2 obliterate crits in a world. So you can go like, you can press, I don't know, say you play an obliteration, you press Pillar of Frost, right? You hit him with a Howling Blast. Ooh, 1 stack of killing machine. Howling Blast again. Ooh, 2nd stack. Turn around the healer. Hit him with a stun. Obliterate. You still have another one banked up. Obliterate. Both of them crit. Tier set proc. 3rd obliterate. Obliterate. So you can just give some smacks back to a healer in a single swap, and they can give you just so much damage potential. It is not even funny. It is so good. Sad people aren't interested in PTR. I asked around, Atho. I asked around, and it's just not, this week just was not a great week for PTR duels. But that doesn't mean much. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's all right. We'll try next week. I think it's just the interest for PTR has been kind of lower. I think Dragonflight so far, like 0.5 is kind of fun. People are grinding it. Or maybe people are taking a break until 07. So maybe we're just one of those things where just like the timing isn't perfect. But I mean, when you hop on PTR, like there's a lot of people there, right? Checking out the Paladin changes because they're pretty massive. A lot of people have to hop on for that. So there's definitely interest in PTR, but like very specifically from, I think, from a PvE perspective. Because I feel like there's more people PvE on the PTR in 1007. Plus there's 2 PTRs, so I'm pretty sure it's confusing a little bit. Like there's 1005 PTR, 1007 PTR, and like... Also, I think it would be much easier if they had like a gear vendor on the PTR too. So you can just buy the best gear you can and just kind of test it with your tiers and whatnot. Like if you could get a PvP set of gear, I feel like anybody could hop on PTR and just kind of mess around with it. So interested in PTR those, but I mean, everyone in the group would have to go and swap over. Yeah, we'll try next week, Chill Pills. This week, I think we'll just do live. By the way, are you forming a group or because I'll do a list and I'll just send the boys over to you. PTR is boring. I think PTR is good when there's a lot of changes, right? When there's a lot of cool stuff. Right now, you're the only biggest changes coming to Paladins. And I guess past that, like, that's the biggest revamp, really. So everything else is kind of on a smaller end, but like Warlocks are getting new stuff, technical Holy Priests are getting new stuff, but like, again, small. Hunters, bow stuff, you know, changes, it's just damage tunings. What else is there? Monk, healer stuff, Evoker, some healer stuff, like buffs and nerfs. Like, it's a lot of smaller changes, but the biggest ones are definitely hitting the Paladin. You know, I think at the end of the day, like, Warlocks are still going to be able to be like, you know, take advantage of the new talents they have, because the current live talents they got, like, there's a lot of dead talents in here in general, you know? Like, like, who cares about all these? Like, these two just make up a spot. There's, like, you do really need teachers of Satyr and, like, Greater Banish, you know what I mean? Like, you know? So they are trying to change them around a little bit, where it's, like, the less used talents are, like, they're kind of consolidating them. And then they're doing some cool stuff with Demo, Affliction in particular, but also Destruction. I guess I'll pick up Musha. But, yo, Chill Pills, let me know, but let me know if you got a group, my guy. Let me know if you got a group, because I'll just send the boy your way. Otherwise, join me, and then you can join up, unless you're already with Chicago. Terror instead of fear is huge, send up kills in arena. No, that could be good, you're right, yeah, just being able to, like, horrify or fear them and they stand in place. That could be kind of good. When we get close to full assault to rogue, sounds good, Musha. Sounds good, my man. Certain builds of Desert Warlock make Diurna Ring sim 500 DPS more than Aeronog Ring, even though all of Desert's profile is fire damage. I think it's because of the mastery, right? Because it's just a huge amount of mastery. The Aeronog Ring is a huge amount of crit and big versatility, but the Diurna Ring is like haste and mastery, so they're both like secondary stat rings. So for a lot of classes, that's what Biss. Yeah, Atherman, I know my favorite Falia does. You should have seen Atherman yesterday. He slapped, I think it was what, Krager? He just kind of walked over to him and just kind of out of nowhere, what is it? It was either kind of backing up in a hook point, like away from Krager, then Targami's playing defensive, and then you can see the Krager cell just like start, just going all the way down. I had no idea what the man did to him. Against them. Lost against all of them. So if you had 20 plus duels in PTR, I mean, when they hit you from 30 miles away, like, you can't even catch him out, so I could totally see how that'll be a problem. But not one of my face versus the bow because Reds are too tanky. Yo, Reds are about to become, like, the best in slot class, man. They're probably gonna nerf the hell out of you. Like all these buffs you guys are getting, which are good. I feel like Blizzard does have a little bit of a heavy hand sometimes. I feel like they've been pretty good this expansion, but I still feel like some things are inconsistent. Like, you know, people complain about rogues and no rogue changes whatsoever. Chill's group is fun. Is group ready? Actually, hold on. Chill, is your group ready? Do you have a 5-man group? Because does Chicago have a 5-man group? Actually, whisper me really quickly if you got a group on how many people you got, boys. Just so I know, because I got a warrior in here. I got Musha, and he's ready to go. Guys, 5 out of 5. Hold on. Does Chicago have a 5 out of 5, or is Chill's part of Chicago's group? Hold on. Hold on a second. Next week duel without Athman and Chillfield. Don't wait for me. Yo. Wait, you guys got 5 men? Okay, hold on. Hold on, Musha. Looks like both teams got 5. So I guess it's Chicago and Night King leading them. So I think you have a better chance at joining one of them when there is an opening than me putting one together. What do you guys list these groups, man? Because I saw Chicago, but like Night King, what do you even list your group? How do you even get these bodies in your group, man? I don't even know. Like normally we just have like a raids legacy, all that stuff, and you just sneak out of nowhere. All right, Musha, love you, buddy, but I gotta back up out. If you want to join your rogue for Team Chicago or Night King, you're more than welcome to. But I'm gonna have to back out, my guy. Tell him to forfeit. Tell him to forfeit leading if I can beat him 1v1. I will. Alrighty, boys. You want to be challenged by Musha by chance? On his rogue. His main is a rogue. Alrighty, let me get you guys in here so you're ready to go. Tater match. Potato. Night King and Chicago. The Grand, right? Let's just throw you guys in the Grand. The Grand. Brand. What is it? That one song. I've been playing Witcher recently, and I think it was like Pam Param. This is what the random guards would say. Oh, I gotta make a background for this thing. Oh, it sucks. Hold on. Can I do it? Can I do it, please? Console. Set. FPS 20? Is that what it is? I don't know. Hold on. And then I need another one for set FPS BK, I think it is, right? Right? BK? Let's see if that works. Pop. No, that didn't work. Crap, what was it? I didn't figure it out. Set FPS command. Oh, that's what it is. Hold on a second. Okay, we'll figure it out after. That's what we'll do. We'll figure it out after. Yeah. I'll figure it out afterwards, boys. Wait, what was that? Oh, that wasn't what I wanted. Sorry, I'm all scuffing. this MacGuffin. Hold on. We're good. Now we're good, hopefully. Let's see how this goes, boys. Alright, we're missing one. Switch. Missing one over for the team, too, with Chicago. But it looks like the Shaman is going to have to hold the fort for the time being. As the enhancement, I didn't wonder what kind of a build you got going on. Looks like maybe elemental build. Maybe the lightning build that I've seen before. Gonna be Atomic up first over for the team one. This guy, swap it out to Fury. Fury did recently get buffed up by quite a bit. So I do want to see how Fury performs as of this recent changes. Hold on, have I done this? Switch. There we go. Now we're good. Boys. Gonna be Chicago. Are they trying to figure out who they're dueling instead? Or are they just trying to say hello to somebody? Chill pills? Just either trying to like say something to him or potentially even taunt him. Just stare down at the guy. Let's see what's going on. I do want to see how Atomic is going to perform though. What did the buff for Fury Warrior? It was like your execute damage and your rampages. So essentially, I think this should be in the much better spot for finisher power, but also for better sustained damage, especially if they can chain a bunch of rampages back to back at each other. Oh yeah, he's not panned anymore, you're right. He was a night elf last time too. Okay, so he went from panda to night elf to human within a matter of a couple of weeks. What does he even go down? Big damage in the opener by Atomic, immediately starting off with the Avatar, double back charge in Chicago with a Stormbolt, gonna force a trick out of him, force a trick out of Atomic as well, as Atomic trying to see if he can maximize that damage. He is getting a lot of rampage procs back to back. If only he could somehow escape the roots from the Deeper Totem. Then I think he'll have himself a fantastic go. Looks like he's gonna back up for a second, maybe trying to consolidate some cooldowns with Chicago, while the Shaman wants to get in there, wants to start building up for some damage, building Maelstrom and spending it in aggressive and defensive ways. Atomic with a Stormbolt is going to get knocked away and actually using that knock to reposition again behind the pillar again, trying to buy himself a little bit of time, maybe waiting for a cooldown or two before he can get himself ready to go for Chicago. Maybe playing a more bursty build that doesn't perform super well at sustain. Maybe like a less survivability build potentially. That's how he's playing it back potentially. You guys, my favorite Shaman, the pillow hump is boring. Yeah, I do wonder what Atomic is trying to do. Maybe waiting for some cooldowns, man. Normally Fury Warriors are very, very aggressive. They want to stay in combat with you, but Atomic is playing this thing a little bit differently than what I'm used to. Wait, this is actually hard committing for cooldowns. Wait, are you serious? He's waiting for something. He's doing something cheesy for sure. Chicago is going to catch him with the last Stormbolt by Atomic. Is going to go for the big Avatar. Maybe that's what he's trying to do, is ramp up through the Avatar. Does have himself a couple of cooldowns available. Is going to go for mad damage to Chicago. Big bleed to follow. Has him in the execute range. Needs to escape the static totem as soon as possible. Chicago trying to see if they can fight through the damage. As Atomic just got himself fully ramped up and ready to go. Chicago backing up out of the entirely. Atomic looking for the lead, trying to see if he can reconnect. Chicago is in line inside of him for just a second. Maybe Atomic is trying to see if he can ramp up some damage. Chicago looking for a bit of a healing. Does not have a lot of Maelstrom to work with. Is going to be able to catch up a little bit of health though. Stormbolt by the Warrior. Knocked back using the charge to generate himself quite a bit of rage. Is going to be able to ramp up quite a bit until light the lesson, but he does get interrupted onto Chicago. It's going to be the mad execute that Atomic does end up taking him. Well done as the Warrior trying to see if he can escape my boy Seabark over on that balanced druid. Big start surges to follow, sending out a Fury of a Loon after the Warrior bashing him to follow while he's out in the open. Is going to go for a bunch of damage back-to-back War's up right after, as Atomic does have himself a little bit of survivability. He is going to activate himself the battle stance or the berserker stance, trying to see if he can maximize the damage versus Seabark while looking for that healing within rage regeneration, catching quite a few of those lucrative bloodthirsts. Is going to try to see if he can ramp up a little bit. Does have Avatar coming back up together with the Recklessness very, very soon. Should be able to combine both of them together. As Seabark is taking a little bit of the sustained damage, getting chipped away bit by bit. No more throats for a while. May have to start using big defenses to try to see if he can get away from Atomic and start catching up on health. Let it no health whatsoever. Actually chooses to leave as he expects the Warrior to waddle over there and execute him down. That does, you know what? I count that one towards the Warrior. He didn't quite get the execute off at the very, very end. But that should have been his kill. Flavor of the month reroll and swap it to that arms warrior. Swap it to the male dwarf instead of the female dwarf. Stormbolt immediately onto Atomic. Atomic as a Fury Warrior versus the arms does dodge the spear. So Flavor no longer has himself that big one-shot, one-bang combo, which could be perfect for Atomic, who's just looking for a little bit of recovery. Perfectly timed. Well done. The spear does have a little bit of a delay, so that's something that does take a little bit of time to get used to. Big damage on the Fury Warrior. Parry up by Atomic. Parry up for Flavor of the month reroll. Atomic can't really go for damage versus the parry. He's kind of limited. Has to back up for a second until the defenses are gone. Gonna be big damage on a Flavor with the Blaze Storm blasted out. Mortal Strikes onto Atomic with an Hinge Blast out, but he's at an execute range. Fear by the Fury Warrior. Stormbolt onto Atomic. Does not have much health to work with. So does the Flavor of the month. Does he go down? He doesn't have bleeds, does he? Wait, he does have a tick of a bleed, maybe. Try to see if he can escape the Furious Warrior. The little bit of damage, both of the Rampage and the Execute were enough for this man to just start clobbering. Look at him right now. Trying to see if he can find a better angle with his maces. Charging around the corner versus Flavor with a Stormbolt to follow. Does he have the damage though? He's trying to see if he can play it very, very carefully. Flavor is just trying to see if he can back up out of the entirely. And Atomic got himself a little bit of recovery on health, mounting up. Flavor just trying to see if he can evade him with damage. As long as he doesn't have a bleed, the second one should let him start recovering, even at 30% dampening. Atomic Ultra Instinct, literally. Battle stands for flavor. Trying to see if he can turn this around. Does he have big damage? Atomic trying to see if he can ramp up. Got himself that Avatar proc. Wait, do you have Avatar procs? Hold on a second. You do have Avatar procs. Big Rampage got himself the Recklessness proc. Flavor, does he have any defense to deal with this one? Looks like backing up out of there entirely. Hamstring on the Fury Warrior, walking out of there immediately. Just try to see if he can disconnect. Atomic so far has had a pretty formidable presence so far. Flavor can turn around, does get the spear. Atomic could be in big trouble, could go for defenses, is gonna go for the recklessness, but rather what, rage regen. But the parry from Flavor just not letting him bypass the defenses. Stormbolt to follow onto Flavor. Atomic needs to catch up on as much healing as possible, trying to see if he can turn the damage around to Flavor. Is gonna be able to charge back to him, but maybe it still turns around. Maybe this is where the Fury Warrior does take it. Both of them are super low. Next Stormbolt could be the end. Stormbolt coming back up for Flavor very soon. Fear onto Atomic for just a second. Could go defensively. Stormbolt, does he have the execute? Can he do it? Or does Atomic turn it around? Maybe. Hold on. Oh my god, no way. He turns it around. DGK does not want to let him out of his sight whatsoever. What is going on? The Fury Warrior trying to see if he can maybe get some healing off of that goal. But the Unholy Death they clawing at you. Just being absolutely unforgiving. Not letting it escape whatsoever. That's going to be slow with that Chain of Ice, and I think with the clawing claw of A-Bomb initially, he should be able to take you down. With Haze going to be up next. Dude, that Fury Warrior, what was that? Yes, man, taking advantage of that Rampage buff and Execute buff, that's why he did it. And that's actually doing quite a bit of damage though. It felt like he has quite a bit of pressure. Playing against defenses, he did really well. But that damage though, man, well, I tried. I think he did good, always calm. I think he did good. I think no one expected the Fury Warrior, honestly. Gonna be Haze, trying to see if he can survive this damage. Big onslaught by DGK. He is gonna dive into a quick dispersion, trying to see if he can bail out of there. DGK trying to keep the attention onto Haze as best possible, looking for that quickie interrupt. As Haze got himself flash heals, so that's the only thing that's really keeping him alive. Maybe Power Word Life? Does he have Power Word Life? I look like he did, but may not have a cooldown for it. That's going to be Chillpills immediately on that Unholy Death Knight instead of that Frosty DK. And myself for both the Death Knights as DGK trying to summon up his army of undead. So is Chillpills, but he has an advantage in health alone and is trying to play it super safe, letting the pest do most of the damage for him as DGK does go down at the end of the day. Dominator gonna be up next, trying to see if he can skulk over towards Chillpills, trying to see if he can avoid him, playing that Beastmaster Hunter, which is looking so far quite formidable when it comes to patch 10.07 PTR. Actually kind of insane with the fact that that thing can, and I had a clip of it, the fact that a Beastmaster can kill somebody with 2 kill commands is a little bit wacky, not gonna lie. Gonna be a blind onto Dominator just immediately as soon as Chillpills can get on top of him, and that's gonna be immediate tricking out of the Hunter, which is exactly what the Death Knight was to see. Death Shock him, gonna do quite a bit of damage, but as long as he avoids the pets for the most part, and as long as he can avoid the damage from Dominator, the Death Shock him and the damage increase that it offers shouldn't be the most impactful thing ever. But for Dominator right now, he needs to back away from DK. Not gonna be easy with that grippy hand. Chillpills trying to see if he can ramp up with even more damage. As he got himself the grippy hand, the Gargoyle joined in, a bunch of Death Calls playing it super aggressively, just trying to go for the kill if it can, but he's super low in health. Kill shot could end, and it's gonna go for the Death Pack, giving him a little bit more health. Dominator fighting through it and does it and getting him. My goodness, he's left super low, no health whatsoever. Trying to see if he can somehow make it out of this one, but at no health, maybe Camel helps him. No, I think he just died to diseases. He could just die to the plagues. Looks like maybe he'll make a full recovery, but not with the Outlaw Rogue. Just not let him play the game. Just sticking by him. Grapple hook, quick ambush, taking him out. I'm Atomic, only 2 kills? Actually, it should have been 3, right? Because there should have been Seabark in there, yeah? My goodness. Did he just stream snipe Scum D&D? I did not look into it, Chris. I'll need to take a look at it again. Did he D&D randomly stream snipe? Maybe. I'll need to take a look. There's a bit of a delay on stream. I'll definitely need to take a look at it later. But yo, let's get these clips up and running. Chicago's ready. Night King, let me know if you're ready. Also, I'm gonna have to fix this FPS thing. Although I know exactly how to do it. We fixed it on the EU. D&D Dead Hunter might have actually been. It might have been a good guess though, because there was a little bit of delay in stream. Like chat, just to illustrate the delay in stream. I'm gonna clap my hands and somebody write in chat clap. When I clap my hands. Ready? Ready? Just write clap in your chat. Don't press enter. And I'll tell you exactly what the delay is. I don't remember what it is. I don't remember what the delay is. But based on you guys' responses, okay, like 10, 15 seconds. Somewhere around there, I want to say. 10, 15 seconds. So maybe the stream sniped it, but like the hunter's constantly moving, so like maybe you could use it, but like, I don't know. I think maybe like if you got the big brain, you could like tell exactly like, oh, he's moving in this direction. That means he should be here. I don't know. Maybe. Unless the hunter would just stand still, and then it's like, yeah, I'm gonna guess. Oh, got him? Okay, cool. You know what I mean? But yeah, you be the judge. You be the judge, chat. I'll let you guys be the judge, jury, and the executioner. So I need to make 2 macros. Let's see boys are ready. Night King, let me know when you're ready. Chilled, let me know when you're ready. The macros I need to make are... Where was I have them? Where did I have them? Where was I have them? So we make a max FPS macro. That goes here. And then we make max FPS and BK, which is background. So I don't need it to be 30, I need it to be 120. Both of them needs to be 120, just to match my monitor stuff. Cool. Okay. Or not. Oh no, one of them's messed up. I have this one, don't I? Okay, maybe not. Yeah, let me just remove them. What the? Console set FPS, max FPS. Oh, it's max FPS, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Is that it? Yeah, that's beautiful. And then max FPS BK 120. Perfect. We're good. You can set those settings too. Yeah. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Fair enough. Chilpas, let me know if you're ready or if you need more boys. If you need more boys, I'll get you, I can let you know where you are. We can get you guys more dudes. You can predict someone's moves and experience. That's true. But I can totally see, like, if there's shenanigans, we want to call out shenanigans. So I totally get it. I think there's nothing wrong with that. All of us, at the end of the day, want a fair match. But yeah, like, if you, like, let's say, play for a long while, like, you can kind of get an idea of where people are going to hang out in. Like, I noticed that rogues like to, when the stealth, for example, they roam around the middle a lot. Rogues are just all over the place like a Roomba. Druids like to hang out by the corners. Hunters mostly go in like a straight line, usually like in a box. Hunters don't really go down the middle. They'll go like around the pillars, but like in a line more or less. Like if you were to imagine like a box around every single pillar, that's more or less where the most hunters are gonna be. Or kind of like near a wall where they could like set up a couple of traps or whatever. But yeah, so to some degree, I do agree with that. Just do corners, just cry. Yeah. That's what Joel said. I'm doing corner strats, man. Just go all the way to the walls. The monk from the last video, he's a monster. Yeah, that's Fortune. Fortune hasn't been in these duels for a while, so it's been a little bit, so he's a little bit rusty, but like he's a fantastic monk. He used to join us back in BFA, back in Legion. He has played a lot of these duels before. He was one of the first few monks to figure out that whole like Warlord Adrenaline when they had the playstyle of like, when they had a playstyle with basically your spin, it's not a roll, but it's like a modified roll. It was like a, what was it called? It was, wasn't roll, it was like a modified, what is it called? Cheat Torpedo. Cheat Torpedo used to do damage. And you would do this trick with a monk where you would Cheat Torpedo and jump, so you didn't go anywhere, but you would do like 2 Cheat Torpedoes after a full Sound of Fist of Fury. So you would like leg sweep, Cheat Torpedo, leg kick, and then Fist of Fury down, and then you would I think go for like another kick or something, and that would be enough to 100 note somebody every single time. So he was really good at that. Yeah, when people started figuring out Cheat Torpedo, he was the first person that really started using it a lot. And it was a time when everybody was like, oh, Moonwalker feels kind of weak compared to Mr. Pandaria. I don't really like it. He was like, alright, I'll make it work. The Twitch. Yeah, back in the day, man. Back in the day. Gonna be GGK first up with his big old Aqua Bunny versus I'm Atomic the Fury Warning immediately popping a trinket as it's gonna be GGK under a ton of pressure. The man got a grippy hand and he's trying to rotate every defensive. He's just getting absolutely mauled down by the Fury Warrior. As soon as the army of the undeads is spawning in, Atomic doesn't want to have to do nothing with it, although GGK is at no help whatsoever. Does he actually want to be close in combat like this? He's an execute range and down he goes. Atomic was just able to separate away from the army of the undeads with flavor. Not gonna let him out of his sight. Subtle Spear almost catching him, but not quite there. It's gonna go for a big old play storm, but Atomic popping out defenses, trying to see if he can survive it. Gonna be immediate disarmed by Flavor. As I'm atomic to try to see if we can back away, hit a Flavor with a bit of a slow, intimidating roar. What's that intimidating roar? Immobilizing roar, gonna go for a Stormbolt, got himself a little bit of opportunity to go for a bit of damage, but Flavor got plenty of damage of his own. Parry up really early, as I'm atomic backing up out of there entirely. Does not really want to fight Flavor for the time being. Just kind of want to chill, take it easy for a moment or two. Gonna be getting the Stormbolts. Flavor finally able to get himself some damage. Gonna go into the battle stance with a Warbreaker. Potentially could get through the defenses of Atomic as the Fury Warrior is in a bit of trouble. Trying to go for as much healing as he can. I think a Battle Master Trinket has been used. Stormbolt to follow. Trying to get aggressive as well, but he knows he can't really stay and hang around with Flavor for too long. He does need to get away. He does need to go for a bit of recovery. He needs himself a little bit more health to work with, and that's really just where Second Wind is gonna come in. If you can just avoid Flavor, then he may be okay. Flavor has a Stormbolt at the ready. He wants to go for some damage. Stormbolt gonna deny him Atomic any kind of healing whatsoever. Got himself the Sharper Blade. Big leap by the Fury Warrior. Does some arms follow? He does. Atomic with a Stormbolt trying to make some damage happen. Gonna be a trick out of Flavor with a Blaze Stone to follow. Atomic does not want to be next to a Blaze Stone if he can help it. Does something to follow. Deny him any ability to do damage or go for any kind of healing. And Atomic finally getting a hang of his weapons again. Does he have impending victory? He needs something to heal right now. His health is in jeopardy. Could be in a bad spot. Doesn't survive this whatsoever. Trying to see if he can get quite a bit of damage back to Flavor, but he couldn't quite do it. Couldn't really get the back-to-back Bloodthirst or the impending victory to help him escape the clutches of an Arms Warrior. Flavor immediately sitting down, picking up a bit of food with a second one, helping him catch up a little bit of healing. And Linthania, another class that's recently gotten buffed in the 1005, is going to be that Outlaw Rogue Stormbolt for that Kiddish trading defense. So that's going to be Linthania trying to see if it can continue the damage. And I think it's going to be a Shaman to Flavor. Leaping away. It's going to go for a bit of a charge. It's not of a stun for Linthania for a while. Gouged by the Rogue. Trying to see if he can crack through the Warrior's defenses. Is going to go for a quickie ambush. Does let him bypass a little bit of that armor. Flavor rushing back in. There's going to be a spear onto the Rogue. Can't really go anywhere. Can go for evasion. Kiddish to follow onto Flavor. Does he have the damage to follow? Trying to see if he can make those dispatches work, as those things have gotten buffed recently. Parry out for Flavor, trying to see if he can maybe take Linthania down. Does go for the human racial with advantage immediately. He's gonna have to get back in there. If you can just deny Flavor getting any kind of healing from the second one, he'll be okay. But that means you are sitting next to an Arms Warrior who can go for a bunch of damage. Is going to be a big leap by the Warrior. Trying to see if he can disconnect from the Rogue. Grapple, letting him catch back up very quickly. But the second one still comes through. Does catch up on a lot of healing. Linthania is going to have to work the Warrior's health down little by little as well. This is going to be a big Warbreaker. Getting a shot by the Rogue. Trying to see if he can make a play potentially. Does he get to do it here? Get a Flavor pretty close to low. But it's going to be a big Stormbolt to follow after. Still Warbreakers on him. Disarm onto the Rogue. Could go for Disarm on the Warrior as well. If they wanted to. A big charge by the Warrior. Does get in with a Disarm. Does Linthania have the damage they need? Roll the bones. Decent buff. Crit buff. Not the best, but it is going to be maybe good enough. Trinket out of Flavor. Does some battle stance. Going to be able to Zerker Rage out of the Gouge. Charging towards Linthania, but they got that sprint with maneuverability, so unable to really be rooted by the Warriors re-engaged. Leaping away as the Warrior trying to see if he can back up out of there. As the Stormbolt come back up, as Linthania may be in a bit of trouble. Warbreaker to follow. No X. Oh my god. No chain death. And the Warrior does turn around on the Rogue. Leaping away, letting him close the gap. Waiting until the Stormbolt is ready. Trying to see if he can make a play off of it. Light Messiah going to be up next. Immediate blind on his Flavor. Does he break the blind? Does he have a stun to follow? Does have a stun? I think it's going to be over for the Warrior. Nothing he can do as he just get absolutely hammered down by the Paladin. And Dominator is going to be up next as a Beastmaster Hunter. Immediate stun onto Light Messiah, who's going to go for that human racial really early on. Are you playing the double damage trinket? Light Messiah may actually be playing double damage trinket. Does in the Wake of Ashes against Undead Raptors, which does stun the beast, which is an interesting setup. The Hunters can run the Undead Skeletal Raptor, which is technically an undead. It is a beast, so they can tame it, but it's an undead beast, so it basically gets the benefits of both being undead and a beast. This means against priests and warlocks, they can be feared, but against paladins, that can be stunned with exorcism and Wake of Ashes, and I think it was another ability too. Gonna be big stun onto Dominator, maybe enough damage. That's gonna be the Paladin trying to see if he can ramp up a little bit, freezing trap on top of him immediately. As Dominator trying to see if he can make sure there's a bit of range between the two. Light Messiah does have a decent line of sight, so he can maybe dodge away from Dominator. He does need to make sure he has a line of sight over Light Messiah at all times. There's gonna be Death Shock on top of it, trying to see if he can maximize the damage. The Pet's able to swing around the back of Light Messiah, avoiding any defenses whatsoever. That's gonna be a what's it called? What do you call it? is, I was gonna say lasso, but that's not a lasso. Binding shot, that's the one. I almost never see you guys use it in PvP, only sometimes. Most people just use a stun, like proper stun and go. Blooded to the best line though, is gonna go down as dominated, just kept trucking the damage, bypassing the bubble, and just kept the pets doing damage to the paladin the entire time. Gonna be his pets getting dotted up as Shilpo's trying to see if he can close the gap versus the hunter. Into Chain of Ice immediately, got himself the big defensive with Survival of the Fittest. May not be enough, the 20% damage reduction, doesn't have a turtle, unless he can maybe get away from all the pets. That's gonna be him just right back there with the army of the undead. He does have the pets on chill pills, but there's nothing he can do about it. Battle Map Stricken taken out very, very early on, and he's just surrounded by the army of the Scourge, army of the undeads. And Chicago is going to be up next, trying to see if he can catch up to Chill Pills, slow it down entirely. This one, Chill Pills, I think, is supposed to leave the Shaman with as many pets as possible whenever the cooldown for those things is available again. Big early blast by the Shaman, just absolutely blasting through Chill Pills' defenses. This is where the Death decides, you know what, maybe I just go full defense while doing offense, rotating AMS, potentially IBF, maybe even Death Pact. I'm trying to see if he can crack through Chicago's defenses. That is going to be a big wall available. Chicago's next Yellow Blast could be quite deadly. Chilpa's rotating into a silence on top of it as he has himself the IBF. Could potentially go for Death Pact as well. Looks like his health is a-okay. One big crit for Chicago could be maybe being really, really deadly, and that's going to be massive attacks for the Shaman. Is a proc and it's massive Yellow Blast on the Chilpas. Does he have a Flame Shock on him? Looks like he's barely surviving. Does not have any ways to heal this whatsoever until the Death Pact falls open. The pets just mauls Chicago. He wasn't even there. Are you kidding me? He wasn't even present. He just left him with the pets and let him do work. I was looking at Chilpa's health the entire time. It looks like Ralph wants to give him as much of an honor duel. Just let him get polyed. At least let him catch up on full health. Might not let him catch up on full defenses like we had over on EU, especially between Telrion and Kragar. But at least give an opportunity to catch up and get at least a little bit of help to work with, at least a fighting chance to some degree. As Ralph tried to see if he could swing around the corner, barrages onto the main pet, does have himself a little bit of procs that he's trying to build up for. Well, I'll try to see if he can blast out the main pet a little bit. Chill swinging around the corner. That's going to be an Arcane Surge onto the pet. Is actually just focusing the pet down. Or instead, using the pet as a primer to get himself the Arcane Surge damage. He's gonna go for the Ice Block. Really ballsy move. But he's trying to see if he can just blast out Chilpas immediately. No interrupt available for Chill. That's gonna be Rob trying to go for a Dark Art Ritual to cleanse himself off of that silence. Got Chilpas on the ropes. Ring of Fire around the corner as the Death Knight just pressured behind the pillar. Unless the Death Knight can go for a full army playstyle and just let the army waddle over there to Chill, to Rob, and just blast him out all on their own, I don't know what much he could really do. He does spawn in the A-bomb, and Rob just backing up away from it immediately. I think that's what Chilpas needs to find a way just to CC Rob for just a second. Is going to go for a Fire Blast or a Knockback maybe onto that pet. And Chilpas trying to see if he can get the army of the undeads rolling in. Going to be the Breath as he's trying to get himself the Grippy Hand. Maybe the Grippy Hand gets him close enough. The army of the undead does join in. Does he have the Gargoyle to follow? If he does have the Valkyrie, he should definitely use it. All the time available for Rob as he's trying to see if he can blast the Chilpas. AMS available. Just kind of let the pets do all the work. And the pets are actually doing quite a bit. But the all time letting him get back all that health. The army of the undeads is slowly skulking over towards Rob. They're going to do quite a bit of damage. The Mages is getting a lot of value. The Mangle is still on him the entire time. Chilpas does activate himself a Death Pact for last second. Just try to see if he can survive this. Rob sitting down for some food immediately. And Chilpas trying to see if he can potentially close the gap. Dampening or necrotics finally falling off of the Death Pact. Wants to get next to Roth as soon as possible, but that's going to be a breath into a ring. Perfectly positioned. Roth got himself big blaster damage. Barrages to follow. He has himself the most output available for Chills. If Chills can somehow get himself a whole army again, AMS is using that, trying to give himself a little bit of cover, building up a little bit of resources. Roth has it all the time. That's going to be silence to follow. Super low on health. Does he just go down? There's no way. Does get stunned up. That's the full army of the dead. Trying to see if he can surround him by the root. Is going to prevent him all from attacking him. Barrage on Shield. I think Shield may just be done for. If he just goes for like a blink around the corner, barrage of the Death Knight, he will have it, but he's surrounded by the army of the Undeads for a bit. Looking okay for now. And Chilpas looks like he's just on his last leg. He's gonna spawn in an A-bomb there. If he can just get those A-bombs on all these pets to keep attacking Roth and just doing freebie damage from a distance, he will be okay. Dampening super high. You're not really healing a lot. Maybe he can get Ice Bug back. It's gonna go for the Dark Iron Wish to cleanse himself of all diseases. Any damage you take right now, you're just gonna hurt you. Mage is still dead, swinging around the corner to try to keep all those pets slowed. And as long as you keep those pets contained, you will be okay. Roth got himself a full shift of power. It's going to give him back cooldowns for defensively, offensively, and crowd control. So he's getting a lot of that utility back. Try to see if he can blast out the main part of Chill. As Chill is going to sacrifice it, getting a little bit of health from it. Got himself the AMS again as well as the sound, so you couldn't make both of those work. I think at this point the Gargoyle, the Valkyrie might be in play. It's going to be AMS for just a second. Stun onto Roth. Does go for a blink. Silence to follow. The Arcade Mage is kind of limited what he can do. Gargoyle join in with the Valkyrie breath onto Chilled. It's at no hold whatsoever. He just needs one big barrage or maybe a big Arcade Surge, and you'll have him. It's just going to go barraging the main ped. Valkyrie is attacking Roth. It is going to add a little bit extra sustain damage, as Chills does go in for a bit of a death pack. Barely able to heal at this point. Just give himself a little bit of borrowed health, but that's really about it. But so far, this pet build, this pet slow playstyle is actually paying the dividends. Roth is at no help whatsoever. Could he just go down to the pets? Hold on a second. Could he just die to the pets? He's at no health. He's going to get Ice Bucket a bit here. But like the amount of healing he can get with Ice Bucket is very limited. Sitting down for food with an invis immediately. It is going to be the A-bomb spawning in, but he doesn't quite catch up to Roth. Setting in the goal should be able to disrupt him. AMS available for Chilpa, so he does have himself a bit of cover. He's going to have the touch of the Magi on him. Blind into Roth. Stun to follow. He knows he's going to go for a blink. Instead, Ice Block instead. He's going to go for a bit of damage either way, though. Trying to see if he can maximize the touch of the Magi. Big damage with Chill. That's himself the grippy hand. Is going to be able to grip the Mage back in. Arcade, what the hell? Wait, hold on. You can win. Chilled. No way. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, he played him out with a pen build, dude. Oh my, I'm never doing that class again at more than 80% damn. Yeah, I mean, with all those pets, AMS, silence, blind. He basically, anytime he's fighting you, he always has a defensive to rotate or a crowd control that he can apply on you. That pet build is so disgusting. Dude, the pets actually do a lot of damage too. And like, you can't even dodge them, right? Like, you can go away from a ghoul maybe, but like A-bomb and a Valkyrie that has a pretty good line of sight. My god. Like, for some reason, Death Knight's pets are pretty smart and they're actually in a pretty good spot. Like, the Tyrant for the Warlock, you know, it's a pet class. The Tyrant is always easy to just trick him out and cheese him. But the Valkyrie will just fly up in the air until it has a line of sight of you and then just barrage you. It doesn't care. It's like so much smarter than that. It's insane. Let's get another one going. Actually, Nikolai, that was Seabark. If you were paying attention, there's only a handful of people that play Arcade Mage, and there's only one guy that plays an Arcade Mage the way he does. Yeah, it's for some reason at first I thought like, oh, maybe that's not Seawork. Nah, it's Seawork. That's Seawork. I feel like almost always if it's an Arcade Mage in these duels, almost always Seawork. I feel like that's a safe assumption. Honestly, you're probably going to be right 80% of the time if you just say, oh, Seawork. Even if it's not Seawork, 80% of the times you're just gonna be like, oh, it's Seawork. You're probably correct. Let me know, Night King, when you're ready. Blink Stun can be the DK. Here's to play Shimmer. Yeah, Blink Stun is a little bit rough. I feel like it's just that matchup though, you know what I mean? Like every other matchup probably won't work out the same way. But also the arena too, right? I think that arena does help out the DK even a little bit. Even a little bit. Alrighty, boys, let's get us another going. Check my pets in arena. Alright, I will check your pets in the arena. Try to find them. Okay. What'd you name your pets? Oh no, what'd you name your pets? I'm afraid now. What are we gonna see? What are we gonna see? By the way, NA, you guys are kind of nuts. You guys have your first 200th duel. You guys are crazy. EU caught up quite a bit yesterday, but damn, you boys are ahead still. That is nuts. You think we keep the streak going, maybe? By the way, I love the variety we have classes. Also, not a single sub-broken site. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't it beautiful? Alright, switch. So where are your pets at? Hold on. What are your pets? Try to find them. Wait, did you put your pets somewhere? Hold on, what did you do with your pets? To try to find them. Are they somewhere out here? I don't see your pets. Do you like get your pets to like port somewhere weird? Oh, they're literally. Wait, that's an invisible pet. There's a little. Oh, It's a frog. Wait a second. You got a tiny frog? Kevin Lander's going to be first up. Versus Flavor of the Month rolling immediate parry by the Warrior. Just trying to see if we can maximize the damage versus the Unholy Death Knight. But he's seeing that threat. He's seeing the armor of the undead. He's seeing the grippy hand. He's seeing the evil and devious smile scrawling right across Kevin's face. Just trying to see if we can back up out of the immediate disarmament. The blind comes out as Flavor trying to see if he can potentially fight through him. Kevin taking a bit of damage. Spear down, Stormbolt to follow. Could be Flavor of the Month, potentially making a big play. You can't escape the spear as it's going to be Flavor trying to see if he can just overpower the Death Knight through consecutive use of overpower. Mortal Strike can potentially execute, but has to play defensive. Wants to get back in there, wants to finish the job. Does have himself the big Colossus Smash. Doesn't have any more ability to catch back up. Leaping in, looking for the Mexican Kevin spawning in the army as he pops himself the big defensive, trying to see if he can fight through it, but he couldn't keep going. That is rough. With a stun around the corner by Chill Pills, is trying to see if he can get back in there as the master summoner of the pets as the Unholy Death Knight. Flavor backing up out of there for a second. Chills immediately disarmed as trying to build himself some forces of the Scourge. With Flavor trying to play it a little bit of defensively. Does he have any mobility whatsoever? That's going to be the Gargoyle join in. Blaze up to follow. Trying to see if he can just escape Chill, but it's going to be slow. But he can't slow the army that is the undead Scourge. Trying to see if he can leap away, but at no help whatsoever. The ghouls just chasing after you, not letting you go anywhere. There's only so much you can really do. Dominator gonna be up next. And you can see, okay, you told me like, hey, check out my pets. Why do you have your frogs so tiny? Why do you have the tiniest frogs I've ever seen? You actually can't see these things. Look at those little frogs. You see them? That's his pets. That's his pets. They're so tiny. So I basically don't even know if you have pets. I mean, unless even the chain of ice on him is tiny. What kind of pets are those? It's kind of 1-1 now. Gonna be Dominator backing away from Triple's AMS available before the Death Knight. Trying to see if he can fight through a Hunter, but the Hunter's full physical damage between him and the pets. That's all physical damage, just absolutely eating away through the armor of Chopil, just crunching right through him. Dominator taking a bit of damage of his own, but he's feeling that kill shot right now. Chopil is super low. Dominator's not doing that great. Mage to go for acceleration, trying to control the Scourge army. Looks like cannot really control. Oh, he was able to control the A-bomb. Chupos was able to catch up a little bit of health, swinging around the corner. Has Dominator super low. There goes the acceleration. Might want to use it as early as possible before the dampening really goes up. Trying to keep Chupos slowed down, but it looks like the Death Knight has been able to evade the frogs fairly well. One of the frogs slowed down permanently. The other frog trying to see if he can retreat back towards Dominator, maybe back up out of there. Gonna be the A-bomb transformed, does get a rune into Dominator for a second, but they have Intimidation stun. Is gonna keep the Death at bay. Stun to follow with a Strangler. It is gonna be a Limit Yard. Someone in number of the dead with a blind to follow. He can't even go anywhere. While Triple is just absolutely clawing the boy down. That is rough. Oh my goodness. With Chicago gonna be up next, trying to see if he can fight through this unholy summoner. Was that just like a bug? Oh, was the Chicago lagging there? Hopefully the Chicago wasn't lagging. Hopefully they would try to get like on a corner and the game was just like bugging. Hopefully. Otherwise then it's not really that fair. But do a big Ellie Blast on the Chill Pills. The magic damage Chill Pills can actually deal fairly well with. Physical damage is a little bit rough. There's going to be a mix of physical and magical from a Shaman, depending on what kind of build Chicago is running. But I think it's an Ascendance proc build with a little bit of Elemental Blast, but mostly like a Wind Fury-esque one. Gonna be triple summon up the entire army of the Scourge. Chicago immediately controlling those pets as best as they can with a deep, I think it's the deep root totem or deep tremor totem. I'm not quite sure. I don't really remember my totems super well. I just know that they actually changed some of those totems. They actually make it so that the root totem will be replacing your Earthbind totem, which I'm not a big fan of, but there it is. That might not be great, because I kind of like having a slow totem and a root totem together. But I guess they do the same job, don't they? But it's going to be a big A-bomb around the corner. Chill Pills, does he summon up a Gargoyle already? It looks like already summoned the Valkyrie a little bit earlier, too. But Chicago tried to see if they can maybe turn this around. Got himself the Earth and Elemental already as well. That's going to be a grippy hand out of Chill Pills. Big A-bomb limb sprouting out. Strangling in Chicago, not letting him cast a single spell for a short moment. AMS recovered himself for all the defensive stone by the pen. Seconds to follow with the Valkyrie. Got himself a pretty good position. Wall for Chicago as they do pop at a wall, summoning the Guardian Spirits to help heal them whenever they do damage or they heal themselves. Guardian Spirits help assist them. Wall gonna be falling off very, very soon for Chicago, but can summon up the Ghost Raptors yet again. Definitely needs to keep those bad boys on cooldown as often as possible. The Valkyrie fading back into the Shadowlands, I guess? Back into the Nether? I feel like saying fading back into the Shadowlands, I'm like, oh no, the back end. Oh no, the back end core, yeah. And at that point, it doesn't even sound like a flavorful thing, just sounds like a punishment at that point, you know what I mean? Maybe just my disdain from Shadowlands is showing really badly. Chilpas does get himself another pet summon, but again, the root separates him from the pets entirely. If Chicago can just keep the depth and separated from his army of the undead, he'll actually be able to get quite a bit of damage output and doesn't have to worry about these pets at all. But it's going to be the ghouls charging back in with the A-bomb and the sounds to fall, trying to see if he can use the bridge and jump off it in order to maybe get away from the pets as they're having to use the ramp in order to get up and down. They can't just jump off the side. Chicago try to see if he can maybe build himself a bit of more maelstrom and maintain themselves as best as possible. Dampening rolling in at 29% with 6 minutes into the duel. Chillpills just have spanned his cooldown, sending out a full army over Chicago. May be able to go for round 2. Looks like a second Abomination joined in, or not Abomination, but Apocalypse joined in. Big Pet transformed into a big power transformation. That's going to be Chicago trying to see if they can find the army of the Scourge. Chillpills even uses the Death Code just to retain his main pet and keep him rolling. Just absolutely unstoppable, this army of the Scourge. With Rav gonna be up next. Stun immediately by Chilpas. Look for the grip, but it's gonna be immediate blink by Rav off of that stun. Either played Shimmer, like you mentioned earlier, or not. Is gonna try to see if he gets mobility. Blast on Chilpas, not let him go anywhere. Just try to see if he can catch him while he has no health. And blast him out completely. The touch of the magic is gonna do a lot of damage. Silence to the Arcane Mage. Touch of magic slamming onto the death end. Barrages are gonna be quite deadly. Death back keeping him alive just for a little longer, but he's not gonna be able to get any healing whatsoever. Shifting power getting interrupted, so Rav does not get the cooldown reduction into immediate invis as he's trying to see if he can get away from Chillpills. Does still have yet another invis as well. He has mass invis, greater invis, but he doesn't. Do you play the normal invis? I think you pick up the normal invis like baseline, don't you? Because you pick out greater, but I could be wrong on that one. Rav trying to see if he can get himself a little bit of a different position. Got himself the full army of the Neds rolling after him, knocking him back, just trying to control him for a little bit. He knows these pets could eventually overpower him, so you better take care of them as best as possible. Maybe even use them to build up some damage resources, some combat procs before jumping to Chillpus. Is gonna go for a blink off that Strangulate. Got himself a big touch of the magic. Does Chills have any way to prevent the mage from playing the game? He has AMS at the last second. It's gonna give him a little bit more fortification in order to deal with the touch of the magic, but the next barrage could be extremely deadly. Does it go for the blind? Has a silence to follow. Silence right after. Rav with the ice bucket immediately. Chillpus does have the gargoyle up and running with the swarms surrounding him with a main pet transformed. Does Rav have a way just to end them right here? He does knock him back into the freeze. Does get himself a proper setup. Arcane Surge around the corner. It's a big barrage right now. Trying to see if he can blast him out missiles. Oh, it does finally do it. That took a bit. The Death Knight was not going to go down without a fight. And now the Archimage Rav has to fight versus Haste. Haster as a Shadow Priest. Technically, I think the Shadow Priest should have a little bit of an advantage over a Mage, because you have dots, you have sustained damage, you have burst damage, you have control with stun, silence, as well as fear. So that's a lot of output, also pets for you to deal with. So you have a lot of ways to just like whittle somebody down over time, and you have healing. But there's going to be Rav stealing that PI, silence to follow, avoiding the void bolts, and it's going to be Haste trying to see if he can chase after him. Rav again stealing whatever buffs he can from Haste to interrupt him on Shadow. There's potential where you can make the most amount of damage happen here. It's going to go for a bit of flash shields back to back as Rav backing up out of there. He stole that PI and he's just trying to see if he can take it to the bank like a criminal. Just yoink that thing. That is super, super unfortunate. It's Haster. It kind of needs a PI, but the fact that you can just steal it, that's unfortunate. Haster is playing what looks like Wood Eruption build though, so every 10 minutes he's going to have a mad damage. But I wonder if Ascendance for PvP is a little bit better. Picking up the eyes in case the mage goes for a bit of invis. Shifting power for the mage, just try to see if he can recuperate some of his cooldowns. Potentially looking to get himself ice block back a little bit quicker. Stun by the priest is going to be able to blink past the breath onto Haster. And Rav looking to land himself a proper polymorph with an arcade search from a distance. Sounds available for Haste is going to immediately hit Rav with it. It's going to go for the Dark Iron Racial in order to remove it. Interrupted Haster could potentially be big. Blasted him out completely. Does he have the disperse? Potentially, no, he does have disperse, but isn't enough actually. He's going to keep blasting him with a touch of the magic. Is it going to be perfect? Touch of the magic does go into a disperse, but this missiles is still blasting and barrage could still be the end of you. Big barrage doesn't quite execute you with a fear to follow. It's gonna be able to trick it out of it immediately. Just continues to belt him. My god! So aggressive. I love his use of ice flows, where he can just use ice flows in between of abilities to just keep casting wall on the move. And that with missiles, so you can set up a missile around the corner. It's very similar and akin to like a... It's very akin to like a marksmanship launcher with a rapid fire of their own. It's gonna set a random orb over at Lintenia. He doesn't know Lintenia is there, but he can only guess. Gonna be kidney shot by the rogue. Immediate blink out of him. Shadow step by the rogue. He's playing that outlaw, not subtlety. Cloak shadows immediately as Rav got himself quite a bit of damage opportunity. Shoot power. He knows there's no interrupt available. It's gonna be a gouge to stop him for a second. Got himself the ultra time in order to catch back up on health. Has himself the most amount of damage versus the rogue. Does root him out in the open. Maybe that's where he could make the biggest damage happen. Knocking him back, looking for a polymorph. Does get interrupted on that arcane. Going for the Nova immediately. Does he have the damage to take down Lintenia here? Potentially does have slows with a barrage on him. Lintenia maybe has a grapple hook to catch back up, but looks like Lintenia is going to have to go for a bit of a reset as Rob just trying to see if he can munch down, get himself a little bit of food. Mass Invis with the Ring of Frost. Catches the rogue in it. He does catch a rogue in it. I don't even know if the rogue sees the Ring of Frost until he's in there. Radiant Spark to follow. Does he have the big damage? Knocking him back. Arcane Orb to follow. Does go in for a quick invis. But I think he's still going to take a little bit of the Arcane Radiant Spark damage, right? Yeah, there's still a bit of a dot to it. Going to be images back up for Rob. Does he have the damage to follow versus Lintenia? Does get him going for a blink off of that kidney shot. Interrupted kick, but actually missing that kick. Going to be a big missiles off of the touch. Imagine does he have the big damage to follow up? Trying to see if he can go for Shinto Power. Is going to be gouged by the Rogue as he's trying to establish control. Big damage on the Rob. It looks like Lintenia does take him. As it could have went either way at that point. Going to be BDGK trying to prevent Lintenia from having a proper go. Is not going to be able to have a grip for him by the looks of it. It might have actually been a grip with a grapple hook at the same time. So one canceled the other out maybe? Possibly? It's hard to tell. Might have actually been the case. Gonna summon up a pet, transforming it, trying to go for a bomb around the corner. Lintenia does not have any escapes. I don't know if he can really live this with an evasion. Trinket, Kidney Shot onto GGK. I don't think you could fight it, right? That's just a lot of pets. That's a lot of magic damage to deal with. I think you just bail, yeah. Try to see if you can bail, but can you fight through it? Does he have a CP? 66% dampening, not gonna let you play the game whatsoever. Maybe some way, somehow you turn it around. But that's gonna be, oh, man, that's rough. With the Mages on the dead, just blasting with the Frostball. Literally nothing you can do. That's what you just spent. That's rough. Gonna be big damage from Atomic. UDK taking a lot of damage right now. Immediately just have to rotate every defensive, but it's all to no avail as the Fury Warrior just gonna be able to blast him out. My goodness. I do like how the Fury Warrior, when they go for like the darker and racial, they actually are taller than a human. It's actually kind of like terrifying and intimidating at the same time. Well done for my boy Chill Pills. Hell yeah, my guy. Awesome. It's hard against a Rogue Obliterate Mage. Yeah, rogues, I mean, that's a lot of control, man. It is a lot of control, right? Vanish, Shadow Step, Grapple. I think that gouge is what really makes a difference. That gouge is where you're like, all right, he already kicked, he got nothing, gouge. Oh, forgot about that one. It's one of those like, oh, well, like, okay. I guess I just don't get my ability to use it anymore. Plus, let's say build a calm point, which just means to go into a kidney right after. Okay, I'll keep it secret. He tells me where I can find these frogs, but he's like, don't tell nobody. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna not tell nobody. I'm gonna get myself one of those frogs and just roam around with those. I'm sure like if you search enough chat, you might be able to find them. I'm sure if you look for them, you'll be able to spot them. Because of the damp change. Yeah, starting off with 10% dampening of the bat and then having dampen go up a little bit higher. I think the damp changes for like the dueling arena, it's actually kind of good from like a viewer perspective. Like the games are quicker. You don't have like long drawn out games that are 20 minutes long. So like the game's a little bit more active and you are rewarded for getting aggressive. That being said, not every class can play that aggressively all the time. Some classes are a bit more of a ramp up class or setup class. So they do need a little bit of time before they can really like play around the damp. Or if let's say you just roll as like third or fourth or whatever, you're just walking into a damp game. Right, there's not much you can really do. So it probably is the best advantage of like if you go first, I guess, which isn't ideal because then it's like I can see people fighting for like who wants to go first, who wants to go last or whatever. But boys, let me know when you guys got groups, so we'll be good to go. Gonna go eat. Thanks for the games. Alrighty. Thank you for joining us, Steve. I appreciate you, my guy. It's super fun hanging out with you. Gonna be Chicago opening up the group. 2 more bodies they can take. If you guys want to join in, you're more than welcome to. Go to the phone where to find it. Okay. Just don't tell nobody. Keep it a secret. Let's keep it a secret. We just run around with our frogs, and we'll have tiny frogs. And people will ask them, where do you get them? And we can clue them in one by one. but keep it secretive still. I like that. Now people, the general. What'd you post on general? General, one pull. Hold on, you the bear stuff? Wait, what's this? Moonfire. I like how Moonfire is so much of your damage, but you kind of put it up because you have to. But you got Storm Eater. You don't got even tier set either. Imagine with the tier set too. Because you get like what, 5% more damage with that? But yeah, Storm Eater's boon. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's kind of nice. That's pretty good. Man. Hell yeah. I like that. Chicago needs an Omas and it'll be good to go. They got Boris Tank in there. If you guys want to join in, the groups are listed over in the LFG Raids Legacy. If you guys want to join the Raids Legacy group, people, the Dungeon Raids Legacy, hit find the group, and then tap number 5 at the top of the chat in the search, and you'll have the 5V5 1v1 Duels group. Damn changes aren't even good for Arena either. They talk about those big talk about one tick for slow games, to slow games down, and yet they make it faster by increasing damp. So from what I understood, and this is me trying to be fair to like the devs, they said that on one hand, the want things to die. On the other, games should not be nearly as quick as they were in Shadowlands. Things need to die, but you also need to be able to give players a little bit of time to respond to whatever damage is coming at them. It shouldn't be like a breakneck speed, like if you didn't shrink it in the 0.2 seconds, you're dead kind of deal. So I think the dam changes were an interesting change. I think even the trinket change they did for like the CC reduction is also an interesting change as well. And I'm glad for the most part that they're experimenting with it. I do hope they continue to experiment. I do hope that that's not going to be like, oh, for this expansion, that's how things always going to be are. I think they should experiment with maybe like, okay, we'll tone back dampening when that comes in. Or we'll tone down the rate of dampening maybe a little bit. Like maybe have it start a little higher, but then it creeps up at a slower rate, slower pacing or something. Right? Maybe something like this. So the current meta where you don't trick it, Season 4 3 fine, so the current meta where you don't trick it to die. Season 2 was better than Season 3, Season 4. Yeah, some people like the Season 2 because it was like trinket or die kind of deal. But like a lot of Shadowlands was seen as like the trinket or die meta. Whereas like BFA, for example, was a lot slower. Like games could last for 10 minutes. So you can trinket, but it's more like you gotta save your trinket until like maybe the enemy throws on the big cooldowns. And it's just a trading cooldowns game. But it's much slower. I didn't play much Season 2. Season 2 was good. Reduced pressure. Yeah, I think, yeah, reduced pressure. Well, for the most part, like Shadowlands in general was bursty. But yeah, there was some moments where like you could just get a bit of pressure and you were good to go. Yeah, to some degree. But it was generally like, it wasn't really sustain focused. It was really like burst focused. Even then. Because I remember like once people started getting the tier sets, like the wackiness that came off of that some of the tier sets were real good. Real good. As inflated AF? Yeah. Wouldn't even see damp until 5 minutes into the game and even then start to feel like it was like 3%. Yeah, for a while that's how it was. I don't know. I just hope they continue changing it. I kind of like the idea of like dampening starts a little bit now. Again, from a duels perspective, like you're encouraged to play aggressively. You're not encouraged to go for resets and play the long game and just like really drawing out the game. They're a lot more active and a lot more exciting in my opinion from like a viewer perspective. Season 2 balance and shit people's arms. Yeah, like Season 2 was not like I'm not gonna disagree. Like if you're like, I like Season 2, I like the pacing of it, because like, okay, maybe you enjoyed it, and that's perfectly fine, you know. If you enjoy like pacing of any of the seasons, hey, let's go by me. Everybody has a different flavor. But I didn't like the Shadowlands, the generality of like, it's a one-shot meta. You know, you're trying to blast somebody out very, very quickly, very, very rapidly. You know, I wasn't a big fan of that in general. But that's me, man. Dampic or just slow gameplay, why would you get into a fight with the heals of nothing? I guess in like a 3v3 setting it is, yeah. But like in a dual setting, for example, right? You're not going to be able to really play the long haul and heal. You got to get in there and maximize your damage and get whatever healing you can early. And basically you have to get in there and kill the first guy so you can go to the next guy, then the next guy, then the next guy. But like having a slow out, drawn out game, like the longer it goes on, like when people would say just play around the, like with before the dampening changes in duels, for example, just in duels, not arenas. By the way, groups are listed in LFG if you guys want to join in. Right, Zach, I see it. They got Silver Hawk in there too. They got the boys in. They get in on the Motherboard boys if you guys want to join in. But also Chopas, how's your group looking? But before this, in dampening, at least in duels, like when we had 30% dampening, people will still play corners, people will still wait until they fully healed up, even at 40%, like, you know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the game, people will still keep healing themselves over and over and over. And now, like, the dampening ramps up very quickly, where that strategy just becomes, like, very, very, very not great. Where it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna play for a slower game and play around the pillars and run around, and then you still lose. It's one of those, like, well, I should probably get in there and try to see if I can chance it and trade cooldowns and then try to get aggressive, not play defensive. And I feel like, again, from viewer perspective, in the duel environment, specifically for 5v5 1v1 duels, not arenas, duels, I think that's probably better because it encourages more active gameplay. It encourages more of like training for cooldowns. It encourages more of going in and taking the chance and seeing what you can make out of it. You know what I mean? I think that's a lot more fun because then it's like somebody is really, really trying to win, not trying to play and extend the game and go long-term longevity on it. But in a 2v2, 3v3 scenario, I definitely do understand, like, oh, if you're like a dot class, you put dot, like, let's say you're a rogue, right? You could, let's say dampening is super high, and there's an enemy healer or whatever, or enemy team. You'll put up dots on everybody, go behind the pillar AFK, let the dots rot them. They can try healing through it, but then eventually they're just gonna run out of juice. And then go back out, put dots on them, get back in there, and just gotta let them rot. So, for duels, I say that the dampening is kind of a good change. Although, I really wish we could just control dampening in duels. Like, I wish as like spectator, I could change the settings and like tweak and stuff. I feel like that'd be cool, because then it's like, oh, somebody's stealth forever? Stealth is disabled. Stealth privileges denied. You know what I mean? Flip the switch. I think it'd be cool, but I'm just saying, this dampening for duels specifically, it's pretty good from what I noticed. From a view perspective, it's actually kind of exciting. It's entertaining. But from like a 3v3, 2v2 meta, that's a different story. Deputies have encouraged below hump and wait for CDs. I feel like if you didn't have dampening, you still would have people like, oh, I could just go behind the pillar and re-heal. While dampening is like, well, I can't use that strategy anymore. You know what I mean? But that's how I see it. But then again, I do see a point though. Alrighty, switch. Got also Smoke him, gonna be first up over for the team too as Frost Mage? It is a Frost Mage versus Lethania over as an outlaw rogue. We'll see which one of these two fights shall this Smoke him gonna be first up. It looks like he's backing up out. Either he is the first, or he doesn't want to be the first potentially. On the team, we got us a last Smoker with the Harlequin set. I like it. We got Demoniac also looking like a jester. We got Chicago as well as Flavor of the Month just kind of chilling back here in the hoodie. Kid shot immediately onto Smoke him. Zathania just trying to see if he can pop off big damage in the opener. Do they have the procs for big dispatches? Actually, did quite a bit of damage to the dispatches. All the time for Smoke him. Trying to see if he can back out. Potentially could be an early Icebox on the Mage, but he does have some good lances over onto Lethania. Blasting him out is going to go for that block. Does he play the Glacier build potentially? If he is playing Glacier build, he'll definitely want to build up for a bit. And he may be playing Glacier build. I guess if he were to have lances and he would have had icicles, I guess it would have been, yeah, he's lancing and icicles are not flying, so he's definitely a Glacier build. Doing quite a bit of damage with those frost ice lances on its own. They'll trick it out of Smoking. Does Lethania go down here? Could go down to his lances alone. Is it maybe potentially? Oh my god, that was so close. Wait, the Mage almost had him just through lances alone. What was that damage build? He just lanced the guy down. Is gonna go for a sap in Chicago as Demonic is gonna be out there in the arena going for a bit of fan nice. Lethania knows where they're at and they're fast enough they could potentially go for a sap, maybe even a cheap shot instead. Demonic hanging out by the eye. Both rogues are next to it. Could potentially be a fan nice or a blade flare to get each other out. I feel like for Demoniac, I guess he's the only one that really gets the biggest advantage with an opener, right? For Lethania, just denying the opener for Demonic is not a bad idea whatsoever. And Smoking got rezzed up again? Are they just gonna have him go again? Or maybe he's just gonna just chill, hang out? I guess we'll find out. I pick it up by Demoniac. Gonna be a mark for that. Lethania got himself a kidney shot just to make sure he got himself a proper opener. Trinket out of Lethania with a human ritual blind out of Demoniac, though. He does give it a trick out of his own. Trying to see if he can get himself a proper go into Lethania. Will not be able to go for a proper kidney. It's gonna be Demoniac unable to go for a proper sap onto Lethania quick enough. Getting into combat immediately. Throwing in a couple of daggers with the poisons coated on them. As Lethania back it up out of it completely. I think for Lethania, actually, he got a poison on him, so he may be... Do you have a poison on you? Does Demonic have poisons? Is that what's happening? Huh. Oh, I see what happened. The mage spawned in just to give the boy some food, and then he bailed. Okay. I understand it now. That makes sense. A resident to drop food. Okay, that makes sense actually. What a nice guy. I definitely want to see the mage again, dude. That was some lances there, dude. That was some lance in there. I want to see more of that lance in action. I gotta play some frost mage myself, man. Apparently they're pretty good right now. Apparently the lances and the icicles are actually quite valuable. Gonna be spikes immediately. Does Nathaniel try to see if he can go for a shot step? Getting shot immediately by Demonic. He was ready to go. Trying to see if he can load up Nathaniel full of dots. Whenever he uses his death mark, that's where Nathaniel's gonna be in trouble. Disarm immediately. Death mark to follow. Nathaniel under a ton of pressure. I don't know how you end up healing any of this damage. Try to go for a bit of a sip pickup. Definitely needs to find a way to shed these dots. That or just survive him. Has a vanish. Might just want to use vanish defensively. Try to see if he can live it. But the dots are just absolutely wrecking you. Once the death mark is on you with all those dots, all that damage over time. And the poison value is just doubled. Garrod into Atomic, who goes in for Stormbolt. Big damage onto Demonic. Try to see if he can blast him. Get a shot. Just try to see if he can bail out of there, but a charge is going to let him re-engage. Glocka shot is for Demonic, but this Fury Warrior, he's just burning with rage. He's not literally on fire. Or, I guess, wait, technically your artifact weapon back in the day, was that all fire damage back in the day? I feel like wasn't there a big old proc with fire damage or shadow damage? That might have actually been fire damage way back in the day, but nowadays it's just all physical with a bit of a bleed afterwards. Atomic is gonna either have to go for eyes to find Demoniac, or is just gonna have to wait down until the rogue is able to skulk from the shadows. I do love that mug, it looks so good. The whole Harlequin setup as assassination, devious little being. Getting a shot onto Demoniac, trying to see if he can back away, just trying to keep the dots rolling in. Stormbolt to follow. Does he have a leap? He does not. Send for Demoniac. That's a perfect timing. He does end up rounding the bend at a perfect opportunity. Just to go for a bit of reset, trying to get the dots rolling onto Atomic, building up for comp points, potential looking for a kidney shot. Gonna be a minute disarm onto Atomic as he's trying to close the gap, waiting until he can get his weapon back. Does he have a Stormbolt to follow? He definitely needs some kind of lockdown to stop Demoniac. Has a lot of cooldowns already, but Demoniac is going in for a couple of dots, shift to slow him down. Leap around the corner, does get himself a charge, looking to reconnect. Does he have the damage? He needs Stormbolt to follow. Is this gonna be potentially enough damage from the Fury Warrior? Got himself a bit of healing, blind by the rogue right afterwards. And Atomic, I don't know how he catch up to the rogue at this point. I think you gotta pick up eyes. I think you gotta try to see if he can get aggressive. Does he maybe try to fight him through the grate? Potentially. Try to see if he can whirlwind him out, but doesn't quite get him. As Demoniac does end up skulking into the pillar. And Atomic trying to see if he can find him at all. Can shot to follow. Demoniac does let Atomic recover a lot of health though. That second win is getting quite a lot of value. Evasion up, trying to see if he can deny him any damage. Trinket out of the Stormbolt. Does have a full death mark rolling into Atomic. He can't really cleanse it. Actually, no. Did he cleanse it? Did he just use the Dwarven Racial? No, he's still dying. He's still bleeding out. He's still absolutely just in shambles right now. Atomic, I think, is just going to go down as he's getting auto attack through the wall, and Demonic is able to. I still don't understand why Rose can auto attack through a wall. Why is that a thing? We have a little bit extra range in our auto attacks, but like not through a wall. It seems a little cheesy, doesn't it? My goodness, Rogue is in a bug. So it's not technically a bug. It is a rogues have extra auto attack range if they pick up a talent, acrobatic strikes. But for some reason that auto attack range lets you attack through walls. Also, like because you have a longer range, technically a wall is melee range or blocks your melee range, but you can just auto. Super unfun. Gonna be a stun on Demoniac. It's gonna take a lot of damage. Super just trying to see if he can blast him out as a Frosty DK. He went in for the most amount of damage, but Demoniac escaped it with the Cloak of Shadows. I can't believe he actually lived it. Was that shit death? That wasn't even shit death. Chippo's trying to see if he can pick up the eyes. Maybe he could find the scoundrel again as Demoniac sitting down for some food immediately, trying to see if he can bail away. Chippo's maybe could hit him with a death and decay. No, he does not. This is going to be the rogue going back behind the pillar again, sitting down for some food. Maybe he can escape Chippo's again. Death and decay doesn't get him out. He actually could have sat there the entire time. Actually could have been perfect. But the rogue is going to be able to get himself a lot of healing off of this one. Remorse switcher on the enemy team doesn't try to hit the team, just try to see if he can fight the rogue. And it's going to be able to stun out Demoniac. Does Triple us have the damage? Disarm for a second. It's going to go for yet another stun. Demoniac with the silence to follow. It doesn't really get affected by silence whatsoever. It should be able to make a quick getaway from Chilpos off of that blind. But he's using shift bug. Shift bug? Where you can shift through a wall? Oh, can you actually shift through a wall? Okay, if you can shift through a wall, that's a buggy. Yeah, that shouldn't be happening. Yeah, auto attack through a wall, it's like weird already. But a shiv, I didn't know you could do that. Gonna be chill, trying to see if he can crack through Demonic's defense. It's gonna shot immediately by the Rogue. Trying to see if he can maximize the damage. Chill Post taking a lot of hits. Evasion out for the Rogue. Unless he can somehow bypass the Rogue's defenses, maybe the What's Adventure. I think Demonic is gonna be able to take him down. Just actually dotted him up. That's gonna be Chill Post with a Death Pact AMS to follow, but there's nothing he can do. Demonic just bleeding the boy dry. With Kevin Landers gonna be up next. The next DK to try to see if he can fight through the Rogue is gonna be playing that Unholy. Definitely needs to summon up some pets. There goes the Ghoul. Is going to be able to get himself the army. Demonic is going to go down to the entire army of the Scourge. These rogues, man, running around in the Harlequin attire. I swear. Not making things easy for anybody. Gonna be Chicago buffing themselves up, going for a little bit of a thunder charge to give them some more cooldown reduction, using the defenses really early here. Just trying to see if they can find through Kevin. Kevin with an AMS, does have a death pack. Can Chicago maybe get a death pack out of the death knight? Looks like Kevin trying to see if he can deny it. May just have to use it the last second. Chicago fighting through the damage of the DK. And there goes the death pack. Got himself limited window where he can maybe get some damage on Chicago. Is it going to be enough to stun onto the Shaman? Does let him chicken out of it with a blast by Chicago, letting the elements just overpower the DK with Haster going to be up next, catching him with a quick Mind Flame off of a stun. With the Shadow Crash is going to be a totem, slapping him down, just keeping him in place. As Chicago tried to go for a bit of healing behind the pillar, not a lot of mana left. We are 9 minutes into the duel, 47% dampener. There's only so much you can really do in this situation. Lasso onto Haster, and Chicago looking to back up out of there. Having to play it very safe, very slow. One of the advantages the Shamans have over a Shadow Priest is they have a bit better mobility. Just about every class has better mobility than Shadow Priest. So maybe Chicago could play defensively. Instead, I think they just want to see if they can maybe play into that Maelstrom. So they just want to play into that sustained gameplay. They do have a lot of disruptions. They have an interrupt, they have themselves maybe not ground totem. It's going to be Acer kind of horrifying the entire ADV team too. Not really meaning to do so, but just trying to see if he can catch up to Chicago. But Chicago's able to avoid it. And it's going to go for the slow totem. So now he's playing a little bit more of a slower game. Trying to slow down Haster for a bit. Hoping to give himself some cooldown reduction. Does have a wall back up. He's going to be able to interrupt the Void Torrent. Allows it to follow the Ghost Raptors or the Plane Raptors. So they're going to increase your physical damage. That's where we really want to get into melee and go for a couple of those Wind Strikes. Mind Games to follow with a Mind Flame Insanity, big damage reversal back into Haster either way. He does have some PI, but it's going to be Desperate Prayer. Got himself a tentacle spawning in to try to attack Chicago, but the wall is ready for the Shaman. Trying to see if he can fight through the Shaman's damage with the Disperse, looking for that heal. If he can potentially do it. Chicago trying to catch up back to Hayes. Can they re-engage here? Gonna be Vampiric Embrace available for the, I was going to say Warlock, but a Shadow Priest. With a Fear to Fall in Chicago, interrupt him with Void Torrent. Nothing he can really do. Unless he's got himself some healing out of nowhere. Stun in Chicago. Doesn't give him enough maybe over livability. Shadow Crusher on the corner, but I think it's just over. Just had nothing left at all. Used everything he could, but Shaman was able to survive it. And rotate defensives and offensives and cooldown reduction in order to continue trucking on. Man, that rogue, dude. That rogue. I swear. That is just... The rogues with a Harlequin attire, I feel like that's going to be the most tilting combination, especially when they just dot you up. Just keep re-stealthing on you. My goodness. What does it remind you of? It reminds me of, like, I think, what is it, Shaco from League of Legends? I think it's Shaco. Is it Shaco, chat? I don't play a lot of League. I haven't played a lot of League, like, in my life. Is it Shaco? Like the invisible clown or whatever? That just blasts people out? I feel like it's going to get those kind of vibes, man. It's Shaco? Yeah, that's the one. Dude, I feel like it's going to be Tilter. I think it's going to be an absolute Tilter. Nothing is more embarrassing than getting blasted out by a guy when he can't do anything, but also when they're dressed up as an absolute clown too. And like, it's just like, I feel like it's so much BM. Shaco the Rogue Daggerbox, exactly, yeah. Now all rogues need is a fear with a box. They'll be golden. That wouldn't that be wonderful? But man, compared to 1200 Knights of PvP only one, I think it's pretty good soft guard. It has a lot of burst and a lot of just in general damage overall. I'd say yes. I'd say it's pretty good. It definitely is not the tankiest, but it is a high damage playstyle. Big burst, big output, also great control, but not survivable. But in a duel scenario, I think if you were like going 1v1, I feel like you could play 1 mana. You're just going from one guy to the next, to the next, to the next afterwards. That may be more difficult, but the control is fantastic. Lots of utility and damage, not actually survival. Yeah. You're not really surviving as a survival hunter. You are limiting the enemy's ability to survive more than anything. So, yeah, squishy, glass cannon. But yeah, it's not bad. Overall, I'd say it's not bad. I remember back in the day when it was like I would go run slap people with a floppy fist. Yeah. I remember that, man. I remember that. Yo, Chicago, chilled. Let me know when you guys are ready. If you guys got teams or if you're looking for more. Chicago at 5, chilled. How we looking, my guy? How's the team looking? How's the group of boys? Are they ready to go? What's up, Ambrose? Just absolutely blasting the guy out with it. Actually, no, he's getting blasted. Is that a BM? Okay, BM, I think. Is BM 100 good right now, chat? I don't really see a lot of them. Because I know they're kind of insane on PTR. But is BM 100 good? Maybe the Tolaran? Yo, you really want to Tolaran? Is the worst arena for duels, man. It is terrible. It's just way too big. No, I feel like Tolaran is just a perma ban. Done. Not going to the scene more or less DM changes. It's not good for duels or hybrids, gate, other specs. Ooh. That's unfortunate. Chilled, would you want to play Arms Warrior? Chilled, would you want to play Warrior by chance? Oh no. You straight up wrong if you think it changes did anything positive for those have fun. Oh. No, I'll pass. Okay. Unfortunate. Okay, alright. I'm sorry it sounds like my words upset you, Chilled. I did not. I was just speaking my mind, man, but alright, I guess what can you do? Boys, we'll start the second group. If you weren't Team Chilled, you guys can join me up real quick. We'll get one of your boys to lead the group, and we'll be good to go. Don't worry, it sucks right now. Arms Warrior? What do you mean? We've seen him yesterday, bro. Have you seen him? They're so good. Alrighty, boys, if you guys are joining me, if you weren't Team Chilled, we have a group open in LFG. If you guys want to join it, the group, you'll find it over in Raid's Legacy section. Upload, it's bad right now. Haster's group is ready. Oh wait, Haster's lead? Hold on. Who do I have added? If Haster's group is ready, we pass the lead to Haster. Who do I have added on that team? Do I have Haster added? Hold on, I think I have BDG added, don't I? Or BDG with Chicago, I don't remember. I think I have Kevin added too, Kevin Landers. Yo, pass it. Ask Haster if you're there. If you got Roma join, Haster, if you got asking your team like, hey, who has Dal added on real ID, and then pass them lead, and then have them whisper me. What I can do is I can take over the group and help you guys out. Bisa has it. Wait, did Bisa win a Warlock? I'm in Haster group already. Okay, have them pass the lead if you can. Have them pass you lead if you can, my man, and we can queue. Hell yeah. Alrighty, boys, let's get us another 5v5 1v1 duel. Yeah, Kevin has to go. Oh, okay, I have lead. Do you guys have 5 men or I have lead? Okay, let me ask real quick, how many we got? Need help inviting? Or you got it? I'm asking real quick. So they do have a spot for ONYXIA, chat. They have a spot for ONYXIA, and they're gonna need help. They need ONYXIA boys, and we'll be good to go. Just if you want. Just if you want to, lol. Dude, I really don't like to overrun for those. I'll release group. Okay. I guess let's group in. Is it gonna be in Raid's Legacy? Or is it this Raid's Legacy? I'm in with them. Okay, cool. Are you the 5th? I don't know where you listed the group. You guys list them in like custom potentially? Because I don't think the reason why we don't really do custom PvP is I don't think you can do cross faction with custom PvP. That's what we usually do, like Raid's Legacy. But I could be wrong. They're full now. Okay, we're full now. Okay, cool. Works out. We have 5. Awesome. Alrighty. So we got Baldwin and we got Chicago versus each other. Yeah. Theater match. As Baldwin 91 and Chicago 5. What arena can we do? Dalaran Sewers, I guess? We'll do down Sewers, boys. We'll do the Sewers. We'll get in the Sewers. Get in the sewer. Let's save that. Hope I did. Oh yeah, I gotta keep doing that. At least I'm glad that I'm able to like fix that whole like frame droppy thing. I'm BM instead of MM. Do you mean to be MM or BM? It's whatever you want to play. I mean, if you're trying out BM, have fun with it. I don't know how good BM is. I don't see a lot of BM. Except in PTR. I feel like BM should be everywhere in PTR. If you ever tested a BM in PTR, dude, it is wacky. It is wacky. When I got hit with a kill command and the one pet hit for 30k, the other pet hit for 60k, I thought, uh-oh. 100k with the, basically 100k with the health. I'm like, I'm not sure about this one. I'm not sure about this one, Douglas. That seems like a lot. And it's like, oh, throw kill command, half your health, kill command, dead. Alright. Okay. That seems fair. Lots of glass BM. That's here. Really? Okay. Blue Twitch. I gotta give it a go for arena anyway. Is it PvE damage from behind pillar? I feel you in that. Yeah, I feel it. I just didn't know how good it was overall though. We got ourselves team 1 to go. The flavor of the month, we roll the last Evoker in the back as the Evoker. Smoke him as a Frosty Mage. Demoniac as well as Chicago versus team 1. We got ourselves basic locks on the demonology. Haster going to be first up as a Shadow Priest. A little bit of the Frost Mage versus Shadow opener here with Tomic over in the back. We got Linthania's Outlaw. We got ourselves Shad Hunt over on the Beast Mastery Hunter. With the Shadow Priest and the Mage separating away. Gonna be a immediate stun. Smoke him. Looks like maybe not playing a proper blink. I think maybe playing the Shimmer build. This is gonna be Haste to try to see if he can avoid Barrage. He does end up catching him. Oh, the avoid Barrage. Gonna be all the time ready. Smoke him. Get hit with the silence. Mind games to follow his Haste. Try to see if he can pressure him. All the time, it's gonna let him catch up on healing. Since the ultra time isn't really a heal, it just kind of sets your health back to whatever. It does mean that Mind Games doesn't really get to do much. It's going to be mad spikes back to back by the Mage as Haster actually is forced to just go for a bit of a reset. And Smoke him trying to go for a big Glacier Spike. Does he get himself big damage? I think tried to go for it. No, never actually gets to complete the Glacier Spike. Ice Bug to follow. Does Haster try to see if he can maybe dispel him? Looks like Smoke just playing it super defensive. Does he have the big go versus Haster? Mad spike right after. It's going to be an interrupt to follow with a Ring of Fire to try to see if he can blast him out of Haster. Get interrupted on that Shadow. Is able to cast Mind Spikes, which is a mix of like the frost and shadow damage together. Shift the power to follow for Smoke. I'm looking for a bit of cooldown reduction. Haster is waiting until he can get himself the stun. Silence combo. Silence of the Smoke him as it continues to pelt Haster with lances back to back. And Haster's not in a great spot right now with those lances back to back. Those things are doing quite a bit of damage. That's going to be Frost Orb around the corner, shoot fuel Smoke him, full of lances back to back. Try to see if he can blast out Haster. Haster got himself a little bit of defense all the time right now for Smoke him, potentially. Looks like he does have all the time. Haster has no health whatsoever. He's getting absolute lance back to back. He's trying to go for a bit of a mind game since he gets it completed. Looks like Smoke him does get hit. He's going to end up trying to heal Haster with that lances. But the Glacial does heal him a bit, but it's still damage goes through either way. Ring of Fire to follow does go for a fear. Icebuck right after Haster does not have a massive spell, but it looks like Smoke him just trying to go for a little bit of re-heal. As long as he doesn't walk in the Ring of Fire, he should be okay. Man, the Mage's lance damage, it's not like the burstiest damage, but it does definitely chip away at the enemy health quite consistently. I definitely got to give it a go again. I feel like it's been a while since Frost Mages have been like kind of good, minus that gimmicky Frostbolt thing that we're doing back in SL, and like the gimmicky Kyrian stuff that people were doing, which is like, alright, you can only do damage over 40 seconds, otherwise you kind of don't really do much. Smoke him, trying to see if he can dodge the Void Bolts. Is going to get silenced for a second. Does have himself a big go, potentially. Has himself an interrupt. Is going to be an Eye Sense as well. Tentacle attachments is going to attach a bit of extra damage. Going to be Ring of Fire around the corner. Haster is going to take consistent damage, percentage damage over time. Breath to follow. Stun to Smoke him. Does not have an out. Mind Games is going to get it super low. Does have himself a shield. Does Execute's coming out for Haste. Does Smoke him. Maybe someone turning around, trying to see if he can blast out Haster, but couldn't quite do it. The Shadow Priest does end up collapsing a bunch of Shadow Burst damage on him pretty quickly. But Demonic going to be up next. Immediately get rolled into Haster. Going for this bird. Just does not want to deal with the damage of Demonic whatsoever. Could technically open just a death mark. And I think Haster would just be down for the count. But I don't think he really wants to give him that death mark just yet. This is going to be a bit of insanity for Haster as he's trying to see if he catch up a little bit of health. As long as the Rogue does not want to commit big damage to Haster, I think the Priest can actually survive a lot of the dot pressure and sustain out of the Rogue. Getting a shot to follow, dust of Nazathian eruptions all around him, attaching a little bit extra sustained damage. Gonna be a trick out of Demonic, trying to go for a kick. I think, no, he was not. It was something else that he did. Maybe just a shiv? Hayshu does have a little bit of health. He is still gonna have a death mark on him. Actually, the big death mark is out. Trying to see if he can heal through it. Looks like the rogue did have to commit a pretty big offensive into it. And as soon as he committed the death mark, that's over. The priest just end up melting. Not a lot of cooldowns to work with, and just down he goes. Will Linthania trying to see if he can potentially get this rogue out in the open. Does go for a random blade flurry. Demonic is aware of where he's at, but his health is not in a great spot. He's gonna come out sitting down for food. He knows that Linthania is gonna go after him here. He knows it could happen very, very soon. Actually, no. Linthania, maybe as soon as he saw Demonic's health, and he thought that maybe he moved, but Demonic just sat there, ate food. So that's a full recovery for the guy instead. That's actually perfect. Demonic is walking into this without any major damage, but he does have everything else available. Linthania, I think it's really going to come down to Linthania to try to kill Demonic before the death mark is available again. You are going to have to get aggressive, like really aggressive, and maximize as much damage as possible. You are going to have yourself a proper go. That's going to be a kidney shot, potential ab Demonic. Went for a mark for death, but couldn't quite complete it. Full stun by Linthania in the opener. The trinkets out of the blind does give Demonic an opportunity to really have himself a proper go. Is going to go for full set of dots. Disarm until Linthania right after. They do have a pistol shot, so they can continue doing some damage. Demonic trying to see if he can swing around the corner with a shadow step, but it's going to be Linthania trying to stay on him with an evasion before the dots really ramp up. Trying to see if he have a go versus Demonic. I think trying to go for a kidney shot, but Demonic might have been able to evasion it. The Outer World does not play with any dots. I guess you don't really have any baseline, do you? Demonic tried to see if he could go for a reset with some food, get a shot back into Linthania, and it's able to wait out maybe until he can get himself death mark again, because as soon as he got death mark, I feel like he wants to counter Linthania, try to get super aggressive here. Pistol shot to slow down Demonic, try to see if he can back up to him. Do they have a grapple hook by chance? Definitely needs to get himself some cooldowns with the Cloak of Shadows, as they are able to at least remove any poisons. Get the shot yet again for Demonic. He's trying to keep the call points rolling. At this point, he's just trying to buy himself as much time as possible. He doesn't have a proper kidney for a little bit here. Disarm. Does himself a proper go. Disarm for disarm. Pistols out for Linthania. Could just kill him with pistols alone. Trying to see if he can maybe blast out Demonic. Hit him through a wall a little bit here. Or at least trying to. Attempting to. Looks like Demonic is able to get a shot by Demonic. Death mark to follow. I don't know if Linthania can live this. They have Demonic on the ropes. Demonic just needs to let the dots do work, and Linthania eventually is going to kill over. Unless they maybe go for dance. If they could go for dance, maybe they get himself a heal. Trying to auto-check into the wall. Is it going to be enough though? He just waited out for those dots as best as he can. Can he do it? Oh my god, Ambush does gonna cheat death, but it looks like Linthania the Rogue does go down with I'm Atomic. Does not want to let Demonic out of his sights. Immediately goes in for tricking just so he can land a kill on him. Last Evoker looks like he's gonna be up next as the Evoker of the group. Trying to see if he can back away from Atomic for just a moment here. As he got him to reflect, immediate immunity for Last Evoker with a wall. By the looks of it, disintegrate right after. Try to go for a little bit of a deep breath. Atomic gonna be kind of in a weird spot. He has the Lethmarker on the ropes right now, Trinket to follow. Lethmarker does not have a lot of health to work with, but he's doing quite a bit of damage. Does give himself a bit of a battle match. Trinket, big procs to follow. Mad Shatter does himself a big go right now. Atomic does close the gap, but he can't really stay on top of Lethmarker whatsoever. As the Evoker is able to catch up a little bit of healing, as long as he has some kind of a pressure onto Atomic, he shouldn't let him heal at all. But it looks like maybe any kind of dots he has from Fire Breath are just not in yet. Got himself Disintegrate, Blade to Mobility. Does himself anything to maybe disengage away from Atomic. Does go for Fear into a quick execute at the very end of it. My goodness, that's just a lot to deal with. With Chicago going to be up next, immediately hit with a Stormbolt as they're trying to see if he can stay on top of Atomic as best as they can. Atomic did use a lot of offensives, but still has plenty of defenses to work with. Got himself big in Regeneration, maybe the Bloodthirst as well as the impending victories, maybe enough to bypass the damage of Chicago, but we'll see. Chicago does get him so big as that is immediate reflect out for Atomic, at least reduces some of the magic damage from Chicago as best as he can. Blasted him out, still lots of procs for Chicago. The Windstrikes are doing work. Stormbolt for a second from Atomic does end up getting Chicago super low, but looks like the damage of it hits Shaman just skips procking and just absolutely overpowers the Fury Warrior. With Shadhound gonna be up next with only 2 left over for the team 1. The Rogue as well as the Warlock. Why'd you guys flag him like that? Flavor, what are you doing? Why you gotta tag him? What did that guy do? I thought it played really well. I thought it was a Fear Warrior. He did pretty good. Honestly. Chicago's Arthurman just attacking Beastly? Oh my god, Chicago. Is it Shadhound next? It looks like it is Shadhound. Got himself a proper stone to Chicago. Knocking the pets back for a second. But that's going to be a big bestial wrath with a dire Basilisk. Could it be able to play Basilisk? Does that thing do damage? It's kind of like A-bomb, but like not as good, I don't think, unless it's huge damage. I've never really seen anybody really use Basilisk in a long while. It used to be good at some point, wasn't it? Gonna be Shadhound trying to keep the pressure on Chicago as best as they can. Has a couple of traps laid down for him, but it looks like it's gonna be at least a freezing trap getting tripped into a light and last of Shad. Does he have a trinket? He does. Could go for trinket in case he wanted to. Got himself a little bit extra survivability, but 49% dampening doesn't make it a lot less effective. Has turtle, does end up turtling into that elemental blast coming down for Chicago, but Chicago has him on the ropes to do what to end this duel if they can versus the hunter. Freezing trap to follow. Try to see if we can back up out of there. Shadowhound with his shadow mode. Do they have dots? Do their pets have dots? Could they go for a camo? It's not going to have a camo, but it's got himself a steel chip. Chicago breaking out of fairly quickly. It's going to be able to stay on top of Shadowhound. This seems a little bit more. Maelstrom does go for the flashy elemental blast dunk at the very, very end. That's pretty good. Beast and Lock setting up a portal. Does have himself the pet next to him. Could potentially go for Sun Chicago. Looks like maybe use the human Rachel to break out of the lasso. I was thinking maybe we'd use a pet, maybe try to keep the pet stuns for the cooldowns. Gonna be back-to-back pets empowered by the Obelisk. Chicago trying to see if we can walk the pets away from Obelisk behind the pillow, but looks like they're still in range. So there's gonna be quite a bit of damage onto the Shaman. Got himself a Bonds of Fel. Chicago wants to break it. Or doesn't really, but may just have to if they want to land inside Beastly. Looks like they're trying to do whatever they can not to break it. Got himself a capacitor totem, maybe big damage. Blasted through the shield of Beastly, so she actually has nothing unless to go for a wall here. But Chicago's still taking a lot of pressure from these pets. Now the Axtos got himself the Guardian Spirits. They are trying to help you a little bit, but not by much. They're trying to do whatever they can, but there's only so much you can really do. That's gonna be pets getting rooted for just a second there by Chicago. I feel like someone Chicago just gonna have to commit some damage. It's playing proper Ascendance. I was thinking you're playing a proc Ascendance, but they are playing a proper Ascendance. I think Mage is set to maximize damage to the Beastly with a proper Ascendance. They do have a wall. They do have a dark pack. If you can maybe get him interrupted on like a Shadow Bolt cast or a Fear cast, I feel like you could actually have yourself a pretty decent setup. Mortal again sent in. Tyrant to follow. Chicago may just have to play the super defensive. That Tyrant is going to do quite a bit of extra freebie damage. Yeah, that thing, you just don't want to touch it. But you have to play defensive. But at this side dampening, you can't really do much in terms of like survivability. Like maybe you can go for a couple of heals here and there. But that is still a full army of pets just chasing after you. You know, what do you do in that kind of situation? Also, Basset, does that thing disappear ever? Or is it just gonna sit there for a while? I don't even know, actually. Is it just sit there? Maybe? I never actually seen it, because nobody ever played Basilisk. You just gotta corpse him and just chill it there. Just the carcass. Basically trying to see if he can swing around the corner. Chicago does get himself fool that is rocking. That's gonna be an Axos. No tricking out of it. Wants to maximize damage. At least does not have to get closer. Beastly bad damage to follow. Beastly actually taking so many hits. I don't think you realize the wind strikes were gonna be that detrimental. He's actually at somewhat low health right now. If he can just go for a big yellow blast before Beastly goes in for the wall dark pack, Chicago could potentially actually end it here. Those blasts were absolutely insane. That was so much damage. Doesn't have eliminated the main pet of Beastly. Chicago is gonna have to use Guardian Spirits here or something. Anything. Sitting down for some food. Beastly trying to stay aggressive here. Trying to go for Bonzafell around the corner. Chicago, do they give him the Bonzafell? I think either breaks it or escapes it. I'm not sure. Gonna be a Shadow Bolts back-to-back for Beastly. If he can interrupt it, does get the kick. No wall for a bit, maybe? Like the lesser, may need to use the wall. May not be enough. Oh, blasted him out at the very end. Well done, well done. My goodness, Chicago. That was so much damage, dude. That Ascendance playstyle is just incredible. My goodness. Oh my god. Let's get us another one going, boys, yeah? Uno más, uno más, uno más. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, man. It has to show me some cruise control, you think so? My god, man. I think it's pretty good though. It has to show are fantastic. Baldwin's ready. Chicago, let me know if you're ready. Dude, I love the way that you can like build a Hints of Shaman, like the options you got. There's so many different like play styles. At least for PvE, but a lot of those PvE play styles do kind of dominate in PvP as well. They do really, really well. There's like only a handful of classes that like have a completely different like mindset about PvE or PvP gameplay. The option play styles limited in PvP. Are they really? Like, can you not play like a lava build? Because the lava build is really, really good for PvE. And there's like, I know there's also like the RNG build, but like you can kind of sort of play that, but not really. I think it's just like, do you really want to play into RNG and PvP though, yeah? Okay, so that may be one of those play styles that where you just have like one good build. I was playing the lava build last week, but yeah, because like in PvE, it's really consistent. Like it's a lot of damage. Like the Maelstrom generation. But okay, so then I wonder, is it maybe stats then? Because I know in PvE, like they play it, and it does not lack Maelstrom generation whatsoever. But then again, the mindset of PvE and PvP is a little bit different, and also stats are different too. Like you can go for like haste mastery, and that can give you a lot of procs in general, compared to PvP where you have to go versatility, and then when you go mastery, haste. I think haste would be a better stat at that point, right? Just like slightly better, just a little bit. It's more of someone finding someone who cuts hard. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I feel like those are the new little nuances where it doesn't work, can't generate anything. I feel in that. Demon perspective is so much squishier. That's it's crazy. I do kind of agree. They are a little bit squishier than normal, but I do agree with you. They're not a glass cannon. They're survivable enough, but yeah, compared to like BFA survivability of a Demon Hunter, where they could just heal by doing damage. I mean, it's just that leech was incredible, right? If you ever experienced Demon Hunter with your big leech days, that's like a pretty good comparison. Like, are they as tanky as that? No, but are they like super squishy either? Like for a bit in SL, they were actually kind of squishy, weren't they? Until they started playing that the Necrolord build. Like they played that hunt for like burst, but they were kind of like not super survivable. But then over time they did get more survivable as like everybody got gear. Dave, so until no one calls me otherwise. I can tell me otherwise. They are really good in PvE. I will agree with you on that one. They're like top 5 at the very least. Generally pretty good. Okay, I'll just put up a new one. I think that's what I'll do. Alrighty, so Twitch. Got ourselves one missing for Team 2, but we got ourselves last Voker first up versus I'm Atomic the Fury Warrior. Did Vokers get a buff recently or anything? Not in a while, have they? So Lather just going in raw versus Atomic, who's just going off of the recent Executor Rampage buffs. Last Walker does get to back up out of there for a little bit, using that wall as well as the Renew and Blaze in order to give himself a little bit more survivability. Atomic is just kind of waiting out. He did pop a lot of cooldowns, but he can't really do much versus Lathvoke on those. Big damage for the dragon, but he does get it with the Fear Wall in midair, just kind of floating. Has himself a lot of mastery. Wants to go for big damage. Massive blast on Atomic. Atomic does go in for a bit of a Stormbolt. Wants to make sure he can interrupt Lathvoke if he can. Wall to follow for Lathvoke. I think actually uninterruptible. So right now he's just going in for big living flames. If he can get himself a better angle, but it's Atomic. He'll be in a fantastic spot. Just trying to see if he can blast him out. Does he have mastery? Not anymore. Got himself a little bit of the mobility while casting Atomic. I think may have him here. Trying to go for big damage. Big fireball to follow. Does he have anything? It's gonna go for Warlock Helston just to make sure he's extra safe as Lathvoke back it up out of there. Leap into a charge. Lathvoke may be in a bit of trouble. Execute could be the end of you. As Atomic does go for yet another short Stormbolt. Not much you can really do in that situation. I think that might have actually been a full gear difference. Flavor of the month. Try to see if you can blast out Atomic. Not playing the spear build by the looks of it. Just blasted him out without the spear. Big parry to fall. Atomic may be in trouble. I think it's just from one or into the next, unless some Atomic can somehow live this. Just start to follow. Try to see if he can walk away from Flavor. Does he get any healing whatsoever? He's just so close to dead. Oh, try to see if he can go for a heal, but a last second Flavor of the month just got him with Haster. Try to see if he can blast out Flavor. Not let him go anywhere. Flavor immediately leaping away. Defensive stance. Try to see if he can hide in the corner. Try to see if he can hide the... Where are you hiding? Where's my camera? I can see your legs. What is that cubby? What is that new spot? Are you actually like hidden? Is that like line of sight too? That was new. I never had the camera get trapped like that. I know there's a little cubby where the door is, but like that was different. That was weird. Gonna be Haster trying to go for a bit of a shadow crash onto Flavor, but the Arms Warrior just got himself lots of damage ramped up. Root for a second, can't break out of it. Looks like Haster actually uses that root fairly well. Just root the guy, just blast him out for freebie damage. It's gonna be Reflect out for Flavor of the month. It's gonna give him Reflect one ability to Haster, but also reduce that magic damage by a little bit. Does have himself Mind Games. Does not want to heal without Mind Games. Maybe kind of limited on what he can really do. Try to see if he can walk away from the guy. Again, go into the corner. Try to see if he can get himself a little bit of cover. Can he survive whatsoever? I think Jesus still has line of sight of you. You just pop into DPO and there's nothing you can do. As a Void Eruption just pops off from the Warrior. is going to be a bit of a rematch between the two as Haster goes in for Fear in Chicago. Mindful Insanity. Chicago got himself a little bit of a cooldown reduction. Silence onto the Shaman, however, as it goes straight up Super Saiyan, just kind of blinking all over the place. Big Ascendance, actual on-use proc from Chicago, blasting out Haster. Maybe disperse right here. Haster, if you get interrupted on Shadow, he could be in a bad spot. Doesn't go for any kind of holy heal he can just to survive it. Has himself desperate in case he needs to. May need to use something. There's going to be a disperse off of the lasso. So Chicago's 3-minute cooldowns were not enough to topple the Shatter Priest just yet. Haster's not out of the woods. He still could be in a bad spot. Trying to go for big mind games. No interrupt for Chicago. Does not have a grounding totem, so they're kind of limited what they could do. Trying to stay aggressive. They're going to end up healing Haster a little bit, but doesn't want to use their own heals to damage themselves. Actually, no. Instead, he's using Guardian Spurs to just heal himself through it, I think. That might have been the case. Chicago has a wall in case they need to. Haster trying to see if he can blast out Chicago. Does get himself a little bit of healing. Big void eruptions as the silence comes out on Shaman. Does have a pretty wall for this one. Does avoid every single one of the void eruptions though by the looks of it. Haster could be in a bit of trouble. Does have himself PI and a bit of void balls that he can use. Maybe stun Chicago with a pet as well. He's trying to see if he can blast him out if he can. Got himself a little bit of range. But in terms of survivability, he's very limited on what he can do. Stun around the corner onto Haster. Maybe he can go for power word life here very, very soon. Definitely needs to go for some heals if he can get any. Desperate Prayer came back at the last second, but he just couldn't quite use it fast enough. Shadhound gonna be up next. Got himself a bit of a camo, and looks like maybe one of his pets got in combat. Somehow broke the camo though. Are you a marksman this time? You are a marksman this time. But something broke your camo. I think it was the totem, wasn't it? But Chicago does go into the cubby, just trying to see if he can get some food. Their backside poking out a little bit. I wonder if Shadhound, like, is that hitbox big enough? Would you actually poke out from the back, or are you actually like hidden as a raptor? Because you definitely look like you're poking out a little bit. Gonna be last up, but Chicago immediately chicken for Shadhound, trying to see if he can ramp up some damage as well. Got him some big kill shots with the aim shot. Chicago knows that damage from marksman, while they got true shot, it is actually quite deadly. Back-to-back aim shots like that with rapid fires is gonna do a lot of damage, especially as he got himself ramp and crit damage as well. But Shadhound, I think his cooldown gone. Not gonna have the maximum value for it anymore. Still could probably make some kind of play with Chicago, especially if he got himself that explosive shot, which is gonna pop in Chicago. Chicago has fire on him. I thought that was literally explosive shot, but maybe that's not it. The Shadowhound trying to see if he can get himself to image watch Chicago rapid fire on the corner, but looks like the Shaman has been able to recuperate plenty. Aim shot to follow, doing quite a bit, but the alien blasts are able to overpower the wall quite easily. Beast of Locks is going to be up next, only 5 minutes into the duel. Not super high dampening, and this could be the opportunity to potentially have a proper rematch with Chicago after that last Dalaran Sewers, where Chicago just was able to overpower him with Ascendance alone. Ascendance back for Chicago. Actually, has every cooldown. They're even going for Thunderstorm, but honestly, needs to start using cooldowns immediately. Axos by the manpad. Trick inside of it. Try to see if he can go for an interrupt on the base and not let him use defenses. He's just going to go for full Ascendance. Just absolute huge mode. Just Ascended into an elemental god. Blasted those defenses. Beastly chomping down on a Warlock Hellstone. Trying to go for a bit of fear on Chicago. Controlling their damage as best as possible. Keeping them in a bonds of but looks like they do end up walking out of it. Pets are still surrounding Chicago. Definitely needs a bit more Maelstrom generation. Leaping in towards BC as the do go for a wall, as the capacitor totem is going to stun him as well as the pets, not letting him play the game. Ghost Rose coming back in. Chicago backing up for a moment, looking for a bit of healing. Lasso right after. It is super DR'd though from those capacitor totems. Axos by the pets, knocking them all over the place. Just trying to see if they can close the gap with BC somehow. It looks like may have to back up out of there. Maybe even poke around the corner and just go for a couple of zaps, couple of Ellie blasts around the corner, generating the Maelstrom off of the main pet potentially. As BC try to go for a bit of drain. Does get interrupted. Has a Dark Pack. I think Dark Pack can actually be used even if you get interrupted. Am I right? Or am I wrong about that one, chat? I think you actually can, because it technically does not consume mana. It consumes your health, so it's not really spell in the same way. I really wish they would add more classes that would have more like a consume health usabilities kind of class. I think it'd be fantastic. Like a Necromancer or something like that, a Blood Mage. Gonna be Chicago leaping in versus BC, but a Mortal is sending him out with a fear right afterwards, as it's gonna be Shadow Fury to follow. Chicago almost dodging Shadow Fury. BC got himself a big death pack, Dark Pack. Blasted out with the Elemental Blast, and that shield does not hold on long at all. Chicago needs himself a little bit more for heals. Mana cost doesn't matter for kicks. Yeah, for that ability specifically. I think it's cool. Show the mage. Yo, look at the spot I showed the mage. Hold on a second. Spot I showed demon and the mage. What do you mean? Beastly getting blasted up by Elite Blast. Another capacitor up as it got a turret up and running. Trying to see if he can maybe survive Chicago. Does that Mortal Coil? I think Chicago may just have him. And does end up overpowering him with Linthania. Gonna be up next. Look at the spot and show Demon and Mage. This thing? Is that where you stand? Is that where you have like the line of sight? Hold on. You can just stand here and just line of sight, you'd say. Huh. Crazy. Yeah, that's kind of messed up, honestly. That's kind of... I feel like that shouldn't be a thing. That's kind of messed up. I feel like that should not be a thing. I feel like you can just cheese it super hard. Gonna be Chicago versus Linthania as the Rogue trying to see if he can get himself a reroll the bones. I don't even know what buff he got, but going back in there with an ambush back to back, trying to go for a killer shot, but like Chicago's able to separate away from him for just a second. Using the Earth Elemental to add on to a little bit extra fortification for their own health. Linthania taking a bit of damage in the open and trying to go for double ambushes. Blade Rush to follow, reconnected with Chicago. Do they have enough damage to light the lasso? Do the trinket. Chicago is just gonna wait until maybe get himself a bit more procs. He's gonna go for Thunder on Linthania, double capacitor totem, trying to see if he can avoid the second capacitor. Destroy him on Chicago. Has himself a little bit of Maelstrom, but definitely needs a little bit more survivability. Trying to see if he can maybe activate Guardian Spirits, big ascendance, mad damage. Linthania may just go down. That is Cloak of Shadows to help him against magic damage, but the physical they can't really prevent it. Cloak love going all for too long. Big Allen Buster follow. Does he have a flame shock? I think maybe there is a flame shock, but he does go in for a proper vanish. And maybe Cloak of Shadows giving him the opportunity to go for proper go. Chicago needs some kind of healing right now. They definitely need healing immediately if they can do it. Linthania no hope whatsoever. Actually just playing super defensively. Chicago catching up on food. Linthania trying to see if he can prevent it. But gets roots out in the open, is going to be able to blast out Chicago, has a little bit of extra range. Chicago got himself cooldown reduction, stun onto Linthania, trinkets out of immediately. It's going to be Chicago trying to give himself a bit of healing and 54% dampening, knocking Linthania out, but the Raptors are not going to let the Rogue catch a proper reset. That is a lot of Maelstrom built up. One Elite Blast could just end you right now. Does Chicago have that Elite Blast that they need? Gouge to follow? Do they have that setup? Do they have the prep work? Just needs one big go. Do they have it? Flame Shock? No Maelstrom though. Maybe use Maelstrom defensively? Did just use Maelstrom to heal? Oh my god, the Rogue needs something, anything right now. Get a shot to fall into Chicago. Do they have enough damage? Just playing still super defensive, grappling out. Does Chicago end up taking him out though? That is the question. Does Chicago end the duel right then and there? Sap? Oh my god, Linthania. So the Rogue just looks like maybe bringing it back. Maybe the Rogue can bring it back here. Unless Chicago just goes in to finish him off. Then it's going to be a slow totem around the corner. Doesn't quite get the Rogue in combat, but it is going to slow his approach. Lasso by Chicago. Is that over? Thunder? Hellstone? Gouge? Linthania is still alive? Could go for advantage to get himself a bit of a heal. May want to just go for advantage. There's Raptors on ya. Honestly? Blade Flurry? Elder Blast? Did he just go for advantage? Oh my god. I was thinking maybe we just vanish it. Maybe the cooldown on advantage was a little bit off. But it's Chicago with 1v4 boys. Absolutely unstoppable with a big Ascendance build. And honestly, not even playing the proc Ascendance, just playing proper Ascendance. Just to have a guaranteed burst combo. I like it. Let's get another one going, boys, yeah? Baldwin is 3. Alrighty, if you guys boys want to join in for Baldwin, listed over in the 4. Oh my god. Well, listed over in Raid's Legacy section if you guys want to join in. Top 5 in the Raid's Legacy. Top number 5 in the search section for Raid's Legacy. And you should be able to find them. Did everybody just leave like that? No, dude. Oh, man. Baldwin. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, my guy. I appreciate you for leading the groups, Baldwin. I really do appreciate it, man. Because Shilpa's bailed out, so having you help out, man, it helps a ton. So if you guys want to join in, Baldwin has a group listed. They need 3 more and they'll be good to go. Yeah, the dip? All good, all good, all good. All good. Gives me a chance to at least go and save some of these clips here. Dude, we actually have had a lot of duels tonight. I feel like we just crack it through these very, very quickly today. We have no downtime whatsoever. But yo, Big Jed, how would cool would be if there was like a class that was like a blood mage of sorts, or like a blood health as a resource class, where like you can interrupt the cast, but like it doesn't actually work. Certain abilities can be interrupted because they use mana, but others use blood. Can't be kicked. I feel like that would be a really cool class for PvP. It's like it's kind of like a hunter, right? Because hunter is a ranged caster in a way, like especially marksman. Like you have cast time, but you can't be interrupted. But what if there was a class that was like a blood mage style that could do the same? Got a test study for Sally? All good, Vermi. All good, my man. Thank you so much for joining, my guy. Always happy to have you here. Who's the healer joining in? Who is that? We'll try to see if we can get a group together, Chad, but I think we'll give it like maybe like, I don't know, 5-ish minutes. We'll give it like 5 minutes. If we can't really get a group together, we'll probably call it. Because we had a lot of duels tonight, man. I've been enjoying these a lot. Well, we'll see. I'm finding it a little bit early. Dude, I didn't get like no sleep last night, man. So crazy. It'll be unbalanced PvE because healers give infinite HP. I think it would be very, very interesting in that regard. Because right now, like, you don't really have any, like, health isn't really ever used as a resource. I'm just saying. I think it'd be cool. Practically, you're correct on that one though. Like for like what? Healers would just give you... But you could also put cooldowns on some of these abilities, right? These abilities have a cooldown so you can't use them regularly. But they will cost you health instead of your mana. But then you can have a slightly bigger health pool. So you can use that health to deal damage or heal or whatever the hell you would do. The Romasa actually still would be good to go. At least Chicago's looking for a couple more as well. Chicago's looking maybe for like 1 or 2 more. But if you guys want to join in, I don't know who's the healer of that group. You may have to go like full DPS. But it's up to you, my guy. I think it'd just be cool to see, because I always thought it was mechanic. That's the mechanic itself. It's kind of unique how, yeah, you can interrupt the oh, you guys 5-man. Let's go. But I always thought it was cool, like, hey, you can interrupt a warlock, but they can still use dark pack because it's the health as a resource, not mana as a resource. So it's not technically spell in that same way. So I thought, like, what if there was a class that was like, that was your whole mechanic? Certain abilities cost mana and the spells, but others are technically not spells, but it's still all magical and stuff. But DK should be able to use HP for some stuff, is the nature. I do agree with you on that one. Yeah, I feel like it'd be cool if like Blood Death Knights could use their HP to like sacrifice a portion of HP to be able to get something out of it. Yeah, though right now I feel like their health, the way that they use it, is really just to take damage. Like, realistic, like gameplay wise, they have a bigger health pool than any of the tank in most cases, but they take big hits of damage. Like their health bar is big, but it's because you have to take a big hit, and part of your tanking mechanic is to reduce some of the damage and then heal back through it with a death strike. You're taking big hits and you're healing it back yourself. You're putting yourself back to where you were, basically. The harder you get hit, the more you end up healing. So you want to take 2 big hits and then go for a big death strike right afterwards to get more value. So that's the only way they use their health bar right now. It's like a buffer, right? The health bar is extra big, but like if there were a normal tank health bar, they would just be dead. But it's extra big just because you take a lot of damage than any other tank. But then you heal it back up right after because it's part of their mechanic is to heal themselves. But yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool if they were to like adjust them so they're like every other tank that take like a certain amount of damage, and it's not like big yo-yoing effect, but then they can utilize their health to do that stuff. I think that'd be cool to go going forward. Yeah, works for tanks and heals, to be honest. Yeah. You up in Mythic rating this week? I'm living Fire Mage instead. Dude, geez, we just recently killed Razagat the Mythic, dude. It was so satisfying, but it took us a while. So, Baldwin, do you actually have a 5-man with a healer? Like, are they actually going to be healing these duels or what? Also, Chicago needs 2 more, by the way. Chicago needs 2 more. If you guys want to join in. Hey, buddy, what's up, Pink? How you doing, my man? Hope you're having good one, my guy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. They're trying to see if the healer's doing. Yeah, maybe they're just trying to actually join in. He's not responding. Give him like a minute, and if it doesn't say anything, be like, all right, friend, I think we can't have healers and duels, so I appreciate ya. Love you, boo, and then hit him with a, you know what I mean? Yeah, because maybe it's like, maybe he wants to play like a healer build. Maybe he's got like a weird healer build that can one-shot, which we've done before on the streams. If there's something really wacky and crazy that's super unusual, and you can guarantee it's going to be weird. Kind of like how the first time we had a Brewmaster join these duels. Back in the alpha and beta of Dragonflight. And he popped off, one-shot a rogue. One time, he didn't come back out again. It's Killishan too. He went and he was like, let me, I promise you, it's going to be interesting. I was like, alright, we'll give him a go. And then I seen him pop off on a rogue. I'm like, okay, keep it. I'm interested. He just brewed him down, dude. Big kegs. Yeah, congrats. Yeah, dude. Let me see if I can get the achievement here. There it is. Cutting Edge Razagat, man. Mythic Razagat, dude. Oh, it was such a grind, man. 200 plus pulls on that thing. It wasn't the longest, but it was in the average ballpark. We end up getting about, as a guild, we got about a US 100, top 100. We want to do better than that, though. Want to see if we can go to top 100 world in general, because I feel like we could have done it. We just ended up doing a little bit too many reclears. I feel like if we were just on Razagath really early, starting to like really get the fight down, because the hardest part of the Razagath was first part, the intermission, P2, and then P2 intermission. P3 is the easiest. It's just like, just play it safe, play it careful, and just don't do dumb things immediately. Just, there's a very specific way of doing it, and if you do it right, it's so scripted. Very good raid in general. I enjoyed it a lot. I think it was really good. I enjoyed a lot of the fights. It's gonna be fun going back to reclear. You on PTR live? We're actually doing this in live right now, Pink. I wanted to do this on PTR. I did want to do this in PTR, but we ended up doing it on live. I tried to see how many responses I would get for PTR, but I didn't get a lot. So for next week, I plan to try to do this in PTR, especially if you see big updates in PTR. I would love to preview Paladins and Hunters and Warlocks and all these other classes ahead of time, but it all depends if we have the bodies for it. So Baldwin does have a 5-man team. We do need 2 more for Team Chicago. If you guys want to join in Team Chicago, we do have a group in Raids Legacy. 2 more bodies needed if you guys want to join in. For the Classic players out there, something to do with Vanilla Classic will be announced within the next few weeks. Something to do with Vanilla Classic. Waiting 1 again? That's all good. That's all good. Is it, wait, Jake, is it another season thing? Is it another season of Mastery or whatever it is? Is it? How do you know? Hold on, do you have like a guy on the inside? Or just like a content creator you heard from? But yeah, man, the Razagath, that grind was a lot. I did enjoy the raid though. I think it's going to be fun to re-clear and maybe even play alts for. Because a lot of my alts do have quite a lot of gear in this expansion than previous ones. The hardcore players I've been watching all think I've been Season Mastery 2.0. The hardcore players I've been watching all think it'll be Season Mastery. Like, I think it would be cool if they did like Season of Mastery and then make the hardcore rules like part of the Season of Mastery. I think it'd be really cool, and maybe give like an achievement. I think what also would be really cool is attach some kind of like an in-game mount that you can get on like retail or maybe even classic, like a unique mount with it. You get it on Season of Mastery, and you get to use it on every other version of the game. How cool would that be? I think it'd be sweet. Like nothing super flashy that it's like, oh, I really need it, I really want it, but like something cool. You know what I mean? I got Shaman and Warlock Classic. Oh yeah. I do remember you said that. The Iron Man one, right? Yeah? Or something. Wasn't it? I'm wrong on that. But yeah. How we doing, boys? Still waiting on 1 for Baldwin. And we still need 2 for Chicago. But I may end up calling it a little early. Oh, 2? Oh, unfortunate. We'll see though. We'll see. Soul of Iron. That's the one. Yeah. Soul of Iron. I think that'd be cool if they added something like that. You know? Not looking for 2, not looking great. It's all good, Baldwin. We'll give it a couple more minutes, man. If it's just not happening, we'll call it here, because we had a lot of duels tonight, man. We actually had quite a bit of fun, and also a lot of duels on the U as well. But yo, chat, Baldwin, Chicago, everybody that's in tonight, if you guys want to peep and copy a character over to PTR this weekend or something, quick 3v3, could do a 3v3, I guess, yeah. Or if you do 3v3, should we do like a proper 3v3, not a 3v3 1v1, just like a 3v3, just for the funsies. But if you guys want to copy a character over to PTR, maybe next week we can do some PTR duels. If you want to copy a character and just kind of get PvP gear, you can do this. Like if you want to just test multiple characters, you can go to Ouroboros on PTR. Go talk to one of the broker vendors on PTR. There's like broker vendors for testing stuff. One of them can give you honor. It's like a broker dressed in red, I think it is. But one of them gives you honor. Take the honor, go to Valdraken, go to the PvP vendor there, and you can buy a full set of honor gear. It's not going to be Conquest, and it's not going to have tier. But if, let's say, you want to try a Paladin for PvP, it's better than nothing. You know what I mean? Or if you want to try Warlock, if you want to try Hunter, maybe. Because if you get enough of you boys, just enough people to make like a 10-man party on PTR between EU and NA, we could have some PTR duels next week. I think it'd be really, really fun. I love the proper enforced hardcore mode for classic and even retail. I think that'd be cool to see too, Jake. I think it'd be awesome, like a Iron Man mode, like a hardcore Iron Man mixed together. I don't think it's great to do like the whole no gear thing, because I feel like you should have excitement for gear, but like a harder leveling mode that gives you some kind of reward at the end of it. And it's like if you die, you have to start over. I think that'd be really cool to see. And you can maybe have like a different type of challenges, right? You can maybe have a season where you gotta do it as like a warrior or a rogue, or maybe like another class that doesn't kill a lot, like a warrior, rogue, whatever, right? And everybody gotta play those characters in order to do healing or whatever, or lack of healing. Then you can have a different challenge with like maybe an affix kind of system of sorts, right? Enemies do more damage to you, or maybe like you're slow when you're in combat, but you're faster out of combat, so you can maybe like speedrun stuff. Full? Wait, Baldwin got a group? Let's go, boys! Hell yeah! So Chicago still needs a fireman. If you guys want to join them, raids, legacy section, Chicago needs 2 more, and we'll be good to go. I've done a hardcore mode when you take 300% more physical damage, 500 more spell damage. It was hard, but a lot of fun. Took a lot of tries, I imagine. Yeah. Like something like that would be kind of cool if they added. I feel like the leveling experience in WoW is pretty fun, but like making a whole new game mode out of leveling, I feel like it's an aspect that they could totally not exploit, but capitalize on. Привет, где-то выложили изменения классов в эту среду. Это было... Тебе могу на английский веб-сайт линк. Но не знаю, если по-русски если по-английски читаешь или нет. Секунда, друг, секунда. Мне посмотреть. Ну что было? Что было? Outlaw сделал баф на PvP, Fury Warrior баф на PvP. Кто еще? Monk Defend, Karma баф. Что еще было? Sorry, a bit of Russian here, boys. Trying to go over like what the changes were. Здесь, друг. Кидай, да, как, здесь. Это все было с этой недели. Не, hold on, не, секунда. Не это. Это. Вторая линка, не первая. I sent him wrong link, I sent him PTR link. Вторая линк, не первая. Вторая. Первая это было PTR, вторая это все это в этой неделе. Ну, если посмотришь PvP, это там Killshot для Hunter чуть-чуть нерв, Primaz чуть-чуть нерв, Assassination чуть-чуть нерв, Outlaw buff, Shaman где-то buff, я думаю, Beauty Water buff, и Trinket чуть-чуть different. I don't know Russian at all anymore, dude. I literally had to just resort to English at that point at the end. Sorry, Asgalan. Yeah, I'm really bad at Russian. I forget it. I forget my Russian nowadays. But that's the links. Bunch of buffs. I try to say in Russian as best as I could. My Russian is all scuffy. Appreciate ya. Alrighty. Yo, can we get 2 more for Team Chicago? We're done for the night, boys. Groups, Raids Legacy. Team Chicago, 5V5 1v1 Duels. Boys, Tank Silver and Chicago ready to go. Needs 2 more, and we'll be good. I'll give you guys like a minute or so, and then we'll probably just call it there if we can't get the groups. Well, I know they could milk the living FLR hardcore modes, especially with the whole hardcore community and thriving right now, classic era. I feel like it would be a way to like give hardcore community something to do, but also be new. They could add a way of like adding more people to the hardcore community, introducing more people to the hardcore community, because I think it's a really cool community that just wants to challenge and find new ways to play the same game. Plus, if they can add some kind of incentive, like a mount or a cosmetic for finishing out, maybe like a tabard or cloak, weapon, anything, and have like new seasons for hardcore leveling stuff, I think it'd be really cool, right? Something to work towards long term before the season's over. It doesn't have to be super flashy where it's like, oh, I need its best. But like it can be something unique, like a recolor of like an item, or like a unique cloak or a unique tabard, or something like that. But also what I think they should do is that they should add the things for the season. They should also keep a way to like, let's say like behind the whole hardcore leveling thing, and let's say there should be a way to like earn all the rewards and stuff. So it's like not completely, just out of the equation, sort of. Brand new title mount featuring the strength of retail. Athletic can you do the hardcore ones to see. Yeah, I think it'd be something cool if they could take it and show it off on other versions of the game as well. Like you might say you do it on classic, and then you could take the mount to retail kind of deal. I don't know if we should do like super hyper unique thing just to make it like make people feel like it's mandatory to do it, but like definitely some kind of a cool reward that's unique and exciting, but also not like super crazy either, you know. Like imagine Juno and the bear and you get like a different bear skin. That'd be kind of insane. I think so many people would want to join in. I'm gonna join Chicago group and invite people to go back to my group. Alright, sounds good. Sounds good, my guy. So it looks like my man Demonic trying to see if he can get us boys together. He wants to get another going, dude. I like it. I like it. Yeah, Chicago. You just might have to convert the group to a raid group. If Demonic joins in, gets a couple boys in your team, it'll be good to go. Private servers aren't a lot of people. Right. I know private servers aren't a lot of people's things, but it's a brand new Cataclysm one came out yesterday. Well, I'm kicking current players, kind of insane. I think Kata isn't one of the loved X packs. Well, Kata had a little bit of Kata was a weird expansion because it was different from Wrath. It wasn't like as good as Wrath, and they made some questionable decisions, and the content was kind of like, eh. Like the final raid of the Dragon Soul had introduced LFR, but it also like wasn't Kata when like Shazmog was also gonna introduce Tomb. Was it Cataclysm? But I mean, Cataclysm did some things good, but like some things were also kind of. I remember people being like, you know what, not really feeling it. Like Wrath. Like heroic dungeons, for example, I think they were like very CC heavy or something like that. Like you needed a rogue and a polymorph for the mage, and like stuff like that. It just was a weird, different thing. Came out in Kata, but it was only in bag mugs. Yeah, I do remember that. You had to keep them in your bags and stuff. It was kind of cool, but like, I don't know. So 100 was so fun for me in Kata, dude. 100 was a range class with dots and stuff. Yeah, it was so good. It was really good. Arms Warrior was a weird one because they had that stun called Takedown, but Arms Warrior was kind of like, eh. Paladins were really good in PvP back in Kata. Rogues were insane too. Hunters were pretty good, but also Hunters still had the dead zone range to them, you know, melee range. Oh, okay, they didn't have the dead zone. Like in melee, you're like 5 yards. A range of like 8 yards and above, and then you have like that 7 yard, 6 yard dead zone. Like they didn't have that kind of a dead zone, but like you would just get in a melee of 100 and they couldn't really do anything. I do remember that in PvP. You just get a melee like I can't arcane shot. Disengage. Oh, he sprinted back to me. Damn it. And I wasn't even rogue at the time. I was like a feral druid. Yeah, feral is another spec that got a lot better in Kata. Boomy, I remember playing a lot of Booming Kata. That was a lot of fun. I loved Booming before the Incarnation build, man. I loved Booming before the Incarnation was a thing. I loved going for that triple cycling somebody, drop 2 mushrooms out of them, pop it on your trinket, start a search to make sure that it connects as the cyclone lands, and blow up with mushrooms. Oh, it is so good. Legion Dragonflight Mob had the best 3 since Rise of Lich King. Legion, I do agree with you. Dragonflight definitely has been awesome. Mob, I think, is definitely undervalued by many people's minds, by many people's eyes. Definitely was one of the best PvP expansions, but also not a terrible PvE expansion. Like it was one that was like, oh, pandas. I don't know if I like it, but I think it was surprisingly good. I think a lot of people were genuinely surprised. A lot of people liked the raids from there. Like Throne of Thunder was great. They had 3 raid tiers, 3 raids in the first like patch or whatever it was before Throne of Thunder. I mean, they had what? Terrace of the Eternal Blossoms for boss raid. You had the Heart of Fear with a big boss at the end, which is maybe a little too much RP and stuff, but it's like a 30-minute boss or something crazy like that. And they had the temple. Was it temple? It was with Mogu raid. That was just in the first before Throne of Thunder, like 3. That was a lot of raids. That was a lot of bosses. That was huge. Oh my god, we got 5. Wait, do we actually? It's okay. So Chicago got 5. Does Baldwin has 5? Baldwin, are we good to go? Oh, we're not here yet. MVP was my favorite. Then Legion. Legion, I thought was really good, man. I love Legion. What I liked about Legion is how there was so much to do, even when you didn't have like a raid group or whatever. Some expansions, like a lot of expansions, are really fun when you have a raid, when you have a group, when you have someone to dungeon with, when you have someone to play with. But Legion was one of those. So like, even if you didn't have no one to play with, it was a lot you could do on your own free time. I thought that was well done. I know AP is kind of like the expansion that started AP, and I felt like Legion AP was fine. The problem occurred is when you had more AP and more AP and more AP and more AP, and we continued with AP stuff. I feel like having AP for one expansion, they probably should have toned down a little bit early, but it wasn't the worst. Having it once, but like it should have been one and done. It's just when they continued that in BFA, gotta continue that into Shadowlands, like that player power aspect of it. You know, but yeah, I like the artifact weapon appearances you can get. Same. Some of them. The artifact themselves, Skull of Manar, looks so damn good, dude. And the fact that you could do in-game activities like dungeons, raids, or even open world stuff and whatever to get different appearances. Like the fact that you could just work on getting skins for your weapons, I thought was really, really cool. Yeah, it was like a big weapon, and I know people felt like, oh, everybody has a Doomhammer or everybody has an Ashbringer. But after people got over that, it was really fun to just go and get different appearances for your weapons. Go and get in your hidden skin. Some classes had it easy, others you had to work for it, and they're satisfying, man. They look so good. They really put in a lot of effort. It was like a really good, like, it was a really good system of like, you want to work towards like that appearance, and they did that for dragons right now. So like in Dragonflight, you have all these dragon appearances. It's just customizability, but it doesn't have the player power aspect to it, which I think it makes it so much better. Makes me want to do it even more. You know what I mean? The skull keeps taunting me. I love the fact that they had the skull, the waifu for Shadowpriest, and the staff for K-Mages talk to you. I thought it was really, really cool, and the voice sounds they gave in different situations, in different dungeons and raids. Oh, Naifu was the best one though. All this cryptic stuff about Mazat, everybody loved it. Everyone loved it. The unique interactions, everybody loved it. It was really cool. A lot of people enjoyed it back then. But Manari one also was really good. I enjoyed that one. A little bit I thought it was just kind of like, oh, I was just arcane power basically. I was really, really good. You know, it's like Chad, but like a wizard X wannabe or whatever. It just felt like he didn't really give that much of insight. Manari was my second favorite, I'd say though. He was really good. Underrated. Definitely underrated. Heart of Protection Warrior. Execution weird. Yeah, Heart of Protection Warrior. Exactly. Is it countless person with a Mage Tower amount? Looks kind of good. Awesome. Baldwin got a 5, man. Let's go. Chicago got 5, or Chicago have somebody swapping? Chicago, are we good? Because the other team is good. Are we good? Because the other team is full now. We can do at least one more for the road, man. One more for the road. I don't like the Taka knife. I thought it was really good. I thought the knife was really good. Ready? All right. We'll get another go in then. Chicago. Leave LFG and we'll be good to go. We'll throw you guys into a hook point. Effort, let's go. All right. Just, okay, cool. You can sort of bugged on my end. Yeah, we got a 4 people each group. I'm a beast, not gonna lie. Oh, Chicago said F it. Okay, we'll just roll it, dude. I don't know how many people we got per group. We just gotta run it. Because Baldwin did say he was full at some point. But it looks like we got one group that's full and the other has 4 maybe? Possibly? Is it 3? Is it gonna be 3 versus 5? No, 4 versus 5? You know what? Is it just 4? We'll work with it. We'll work with it, man. We'll work with it. This will work fine. This will be fine. That's fine. Copium. Ooh, I like that song. That's a good one. Alrighty. Switch. This form is better than actual arena, seriously. I hope to bring someone like this to PvP at some point in Siege. 5-man! Yo, we got full teams. Let's go, boys. We got ourselves. Hold on. I gotta fix this. Alright, hold on. Let me wait until the UI drops away. Because we got everybody in here. Hell yeah. Alrighty, boys. Flavor of the month, reroll as Arms Warrior riding their steed. Is that the Gladiator version or is that like the raid version? Looks good either way though. We got Lathroker in the back as an Evoker. TM Demonic looks like gonna be first up with Yip Man in the back. And we got us in Chicago on that team. Looks like... What's her name? Grimbeard? I want to say Grimbeard is gonna be first. I like that look. The pink attire, pink paladin set, the katana. I actually like this man's look. He's got a good look going on. We got this Dally over on the team with Little Duck. Is Little Duck the big duck? The big guy? We got Elite Shaman on that team together with Beast, Alex, and Grimbeard. Gonna be first up versus Flavor of the Month. Both of them walked up to each other, bowed from one competitor to the next, double charged on each other. Stormbolt for Stormbolt. Grim is going to be tricking it early with a spear and a blade storm. Fairy up for Flavor, trying to see if he can potentially bypass it entirely. Feel for a second, does Zerker rage out of it? That's going to be a Flavor using defensive really early. Grim still holding on to that parry in case the 1-2 is going to go for blade storm with a pair of their own. Still doing quite a lot of damage. His Flavor is going to have to back up out of there. Defensive stance, expecting the other warrior to charge into him, and he is going to go for that charge. I don't think he's playing that charge root combo. I think he's just playing normal charge, isn't he? May not be playing that Warbreaker combination. Stormbolt for Stormbolt. This is where Flavor decides to go for a bit of a reset. Bleed by Grim. I don't know if it connected or not. Flavor is going to have a bleed on him, but I don't know if he has a big bleed though. Flavor goes in for a sharpened blade. Grim also sharpened his blade as well. Warbreaker for one of them. I think it was Grimbeard that used Warbreaker just now. Or might have been Flavor. Might have a lot of damage available. Is going to go for a leap. Grim trying to see if he can get over there. Trying to go for a leap. Is going to be able to reconnect charge around the corner. Immediate disarm. Grim does not have a disarm of his own, but it looks of it. And Flavor trying to go for a bit of a battle stance, but still trying to see if he can get out of there. Playing it very, very defensively. Flavor has himself that ignore pain on top of him. So does Grim. If both of them back away from each other, they could actually give each other second win. Looks like Flavor does want to go for it, but Grim doesn't want to give him any opportunity. Flavor does catch up a little bit of healing though, but a Stormbolt to follow. Gonna be a Flavor trying to see if he can maybe go for a bit of damage. Warbreaker, but then he leaping away. So Flavor doesn't actually want to fight it. He Warbreakered, but he just leaps away for Grim, where Grim wants to stay on him. Definitely does not play Warbreaker because he's just not able to really get the charge stun combo with it. Gonna be a bit of a parry for Flavor. Grim just trying to go for a fear, no Zerker Rage. Spirit to follow, has the Blaze Stone still able to parry right through it. Grim trying to see if he can just chop him up. Can he do it? Flavor trying to see if he can back up under the Stormbolt onto Grim. This Flavor has no help whatsoever. Does Grim have a leap? He's gonna go for a charge. Leap to follow. Stormbolt run after. Big execute. Oh, just sliding right in there with a big shot for taking him out. Well done. Even goes in for a bow. What a boy. What a homie. Oh my goodness. Looks like he doesn't want to fight Yip. Is that the case? He doesn't want to fight him maybe? He just backed up out of there. That, or he's trying to see if he can bait Yipman in the back, or maybe just waiting for cooldowns. But it looks like Yipman is more or less giving him as much of an honor duel as possible. That, or he's just confused, trying to figure out who's fighting next. Maybe that's why he's looking around like, wait, what's going on? Who am I fighting? Can somebody explain? I do like the katana he got in the back, by the way. Even looking to see, was like, wait, what's going on? Is Grim just not playing? I'm sorry? Wait, what? Hold on a second. Was it just them, the warriors, trying to fight each other real quickly? Huh? That's different. It looks like it's going to be Ipman versus Elite Shaman, trying to see if he can fight through the wall to follow his Shaman, trying to see if he can fight through his Ipman. Not fighting the warrior. Interesting. That's actually got suggested to me before. Like, what if we did our duels like that? Or if he did like, he does like monks? Okay. I guess he just doesn't want to fight him. Karma to follow by Ibman. Can Elite Shaman fight through his Karma? May just be able to try to go for a bit of healing. Ibman's Karma is actually keeping him alive. They did buff the thing recently. Sky Fury up for Elite Shaman. Can he potentially turn around with a big Element Blast? Fist of Fury is going to lock it down for a second. Ibman looks like trying to see if he can just boop him out there. Maybe even break him a little bit closer to his Fist of Fury and then go for a kick at the very, very end. That's actually something that was suggested to me before. Like, what if we did like 2 people go out and then whoever wins, they go back and then next people go in and then next people will duel each other. Instead of like having one person chain it from one to the next. Are they actually going to set Grimbeard versus the monk? He doesn't want to fight him, does he? He doesn't want to fight him, but Ibman is softened up a little bit. So maybe? That is interesting. I feel like Grim is definitely given an opportunity here to potentially get himself a pretty big kill. Trying to go for a bit of a bow versus Ipman, but also he's second the spider at him as well. Ipman does want to get in there. He has Karma coming back up very, very soon. I feel like if Grim goes in early, he may be able to make a play before the Karma and all the other defenses come back. He could potentially make a play, but I'm not really sure why he's stalling. You want to try something like that? Really? Okay. Gonna be Warbreaker, Zipman trying to see if he can maybe get out of the spear. Big Blade to follow. Fist of Fury is gonna get him that parry that he needs. Big Blade by Grim is gonna go for a trick and fear onto Infinite. I think he's gonna just land an execute. That felt a little bit unfair because Grim did get to wait out this entire time and was able to just basically send full cooldowns into the Shaman, into the monk. That was interesting. Huh. Alright, this duel is definitely a little bit off rails. But we'll see if Grim could maybe fight through Chicago. He's having to actually go from one to another with cooldowns in between. So that should be interesting. Chicago tried to go for big ascendance, blasting out our Grim. The warrior charging back in. Doesn't have a lot of survivability unless he's got himself an impending victory. Maybe he's got himself any CDs coming back up. It's going to be Root Totem with a stun right after. Does himself reflect. Bringing the magic damage, but looks like Chicago is going to be able to lash right through him. With basically going to be up next as the Warlock setting up a bit of a gateway. That was very, very interesting. Grog for Team Demon. I invited the dudes from Georgia that probably don't know the rules. Probably warrior backed off. Oh, okay. That's why. Okay. That's fine. Hey, that's the first time foray into the duels. I'm actually perfectly okay with fresh blood. Even if we get weird situations like that, I'm actually kind of fine with it. As long as we get fresh blood, man. Fresh blood is good. More bodies joining his duels? That's always fantastic to see. That guy get vibes, by the way. Dotted him for the warrior. Beast and try to see if he can dash to it down Chicago. Someone in a double portal. It's going to barrage Chicago as they try to see if they can fight through the Infernal as well as the Succubus with the Shadow Portal. Still continuing to pelt at him slowly but surely. Did BC open up all his portals? Or does he still have some saved up? Trying to go for a little bit of a Shadow Fury, getting interrupted, but he has access to the fire magic either way. So he's able to blast out Chicago with immolations and incinerations. Is going to go for a bit of a dark pact with a big cannonball to Chicago. The Shaman backing up out of there, has the Guardian Spirits to help him a little bit with the lasso right after, trying to see if he can CC Beastly for just a moment. As a Warlock does have pretty big defenses still available. Dark Pact coming back up in just 30 seconds. It is such a long duration, such a short cooldown too. Together with Wall, together with Mortal Coil, I mean, Destruction Warlocks are looking super, super good. Where's the Nintendo 7, man? We're fantastic. We're doing another World Stars 1v1. Oh, good. Oh, so good. So good, Jonah. Actually, maybe that is something we should try sometime with a 5v5 1v1 duel. It's kind of like you go in, whoever wins, then they back off. Next people go in, fight. Whoever wins, then they back off. Then basically do that for everybody. And then you go back to that, like, you figure out the order, and then you have everybody play. And then you go back to those first people that didn't get to play. You won't really get a lot of like 1v5s, but I think you will probably get a lot longer of games, and that could be kind of interesting. It's a lot of coordination. King of the Hill? Kind of like King of the Hill, yeah, sorta. I guess you can call it King of the Hill. That would be interesting though. Gonna be Chicago charging in next, interrupting the Beast Lock, trying to see if we can blast him out. That's a big wall as well as Dark Pact getting booped around like a ball just against the wall. Just tossed around. Big incentives for Chicago. Maybe can blast the Beast. Big damage into Cannonball lockdown. Not much you can really do. Blasting out Little Duck, not even giving the Rogue a chance. What is going on? Little Duck forced to start fighting immediately. Give Little Duck a break. I like his name. Vanished followed by the Rogue as he did go in for quite a bit of damage on Chicago. Been blasted out, and that is just a lot either way though. Sap! How do you land a Sap after Chicago just went full Ascendance mode on you? How does that even work? Get a shot on Chicago? Does he have maybe another secret technique? Trying to see if he can make a play. As a high mountain Torrent, he does have a knockdown and a little bit extra passive versatility. I don't see a lot of high mountain rogues at all. Gonna be a big damage in Chicago. Does he have the damage here? Big little buster follow. Little Duck trying to see if he can get himself a bit of a sippy cup. Is it enough though? Oh my god, I like the name Little Duck, by the way. Also, the Mog is so perfect. It's great. Spot on. I like it. Blind on Chicago does not have a trinket, but does Little Duck have himself a proper sap here? He is able to catch a re-stealth sap, but does he have a proper go? Because Chicago has no help whatsoever, no wall available. Does he have the calm points and the cooldowns? Has himself a Shadow Strike Kidney Shot that's going to give him a dance right now, so he does have a proper go here. Maybe some secret technique, potentially. May not even need it, just a big eviscerate. That's all he wanted. That's going to be Lathwork up next. Immediate disarmament to the Evoker. Not much you can do disarming the Dragon. Trying to go for a bit of a fireball, but he realizes that the Rogue, there's no way he's nearby. Vanished by Little Duck. And as long as there's no dots on him, Lathwork will not be able to find him easily. Lathworker may have to go pick up eyes right now if he wants to be super proactive with the Rogue. Especially since he's still holding on to his cooldowns. Good thing he didn't use any of them immediately. Little Duck swinging around the corner. Does last trinket this immediately. Shadow Strike by the Rogue. Kidney Shot. Does go for trinket. Using mobility to get away. Trying to see if he can slow him down with a beam. Little Duck trying to go for a Cloak of Shadows. Does have an interrupt in case he needs to. Lathworker just trying to play defense a little bit. Got himself a wall as well as the Renewal Blaze. Little Duck using the high mountain Rachel to charge towards Lath, and Smokebone trying to see if he can escape. But the Fireball is going to hit him. Quite a bit of damage too. Mastery Burst for Lathworker. Does himself a big go. Huge disintegrates versus the Little Duck. Does he have a turning surge? Is it going to connect? Almost connected. It was mid-air, but the advantage for the Rogue stopped him. Kiddish on to Lath may not be able to do much unless he can maybe go immunity. He does have a bronze ability where he can immune himself from damage, kind of like freeze him in stasis. But I don't think he can use it while stunned. If you can, that would have been amazing, but I don't think it lets you. Demonic just goes in full dots on the Little Duck. Deathmark just doesn't let this Rogue escape whatsoever. The man is just bleeding out. Nothing you can do cheat death, but he can cheat Demoniac. With Dalaran going to be up next immediately. Full dots on a Demonic Kidney Shot Raptor. Does he go for Deathmark? He does go for the Deathmark of his own. Does Demonic escape it? Sippy Cup? Can he live this? It's just a lot of dots. Evasion, Cloak, able to at least remove some of that poison damage. But the blades is still turning right into him. Dally with a vanish. Demonic is going to be out of stealth, I think, pretty early on. Does go for a revanish of his own. Blinded Dally looks at Demonic survive the bleeds, but barely. Trying to go for cannibalize, but the dots are still on him. Sapa to Dally. Does he owe himself a proper go? Because Dally right now has a health advantage. As long as Dally does not... I guess he can't retreat at anything, can he? But as long as Dally keeps the offensive on Demonic, he may be okay. Does Demonic go in? Phantom Knives. Can a shot on the Dally? Does he owe himself a proper go? This is where Dally could turn it around easily. But that shield, but that slow, Dally can't do much about it. Maybe actually in trouble. Those dots are going to be quite deadly. Got himself a sipping cup. Can't really catch a reset. And I think Demonic is supposed to bleed him dry. And Dally, again, dotted up. Getting auto track through the wall. It's over. It's just over. Demonic had to play it super safe. My goodness. Oh my. That was actually quite a good duel. Quite an interesting setup. Little Duck as a high mounted turn. I like seeing that. But also, we should try that format of like, you know, you go in, fight each other, and then you split. And then your next set of people go in. Like, duel each other in sets. I think that could be interesting. Maybe we should try that at some point. That was cool. That would actually be interesting. Because then at the end of the day, everyone will get a chance to play. Literally until one man is down. Until the last one left. That was a good assess for success. That was fun. Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. Enjoyed these duels a lot, man. Never seen a match like that before. I mean, death marks, man. They're ridiculously strong. I feel like Malachi, you almost had him too. You just needed like a little bit of like a break over there. Can you get one more call on it? I don't know. Depends if Chicago still has a 5-man. Like, if Chicago got a 5-man, then maybe. But if Chicago lost somebody, then we'll probably call it there. Kind of depends. Unfortunately, I think America's going to be playing more 5 on when it's going to do much now. Do you have a lot of gear, Lath? Or is that thing not super geared? Because I wonder if, like, if maybe with a bit more gear, it can do well. I'm out of GDs. Alright, sounds good, man. More? Well, Chicago gone. Chicago's leading one of the groups. With Chicago going, I think we'll probably call it there. But yeah, I do agree. Like, Evokers they're good. They're very damage oriented, but not really survivability oriented. Not really. Not easy, at least. It's not easy at all. I thought I could kill him. Yeah, it was rough, man. Onomas? Unless somebody takes over Chicago, I don't think we'll really have anybody leading the group. They're not as good as the Prime was. Dude, in their Prime, though, they didn't have they need to just get tankier. They just need to give them more tankiness in PvP. That's it. They just need to make them like more self-survivable in PvP. That's it. I literally invited 6 people to the team just to make us deal lol. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Boris. Thank you, friend. Yo, I like that, man. They got in here. Let's go. Yeah, they just need to make him tankier. That's all they gotta do. Like, give him more self-healing. Like it's fine if they want to like make him less bursty. Like, at least when they were bursty, like you could find like a breakaway, big blast, you could take somebody out very quickly. But they just make him like just passively tankier for PvP. Even though they give us 30% walls and such, not enough. Plus the male armor is basically plate stats. Yeah. Honestly, it feels more paper than anything. I feel like rogues with leather gear just feel tankier. I know that rogues like technically leather should not be as good as mail or plate, but like mail feels like it's just paper. Like I feel like clothies in general are tankier than mail classes. I don't know what it is. That's actually in PvE too. Not even PvP either. This isn't even in PvE. It's just kind of weird. But we'll call it your chat. Next week we'll do more 5v5 1v1 DUELS. How does that sound? Invite your friends, man. Get your homies in here. Get your guildies in here. Anyone that want to join in. Anybody and everybody's welcome to join. We do these Friday from 5 to 7 PM East Coast time. Whatever that is in EU time. Over Fridays we're doing for EU and Saturdays we're doing for NA. So if you want to be here Saturday nights like tonight, next week, be here, boys. We'll do more of them next week for sure. But yo, thank you so much for watching, man. Yo, Lath, happy to have you back in, man. Hopefully maybe you could go and swap to a different alt character to join these, man. Rogues are really good. Warriors are pretty good. What did you play before? I don't remember what you played in the past. Hunter? Paladin? Paladin, man. Maybe get him prepped for 1007 because they're looking really good in 1007. Looking very good in 1007. At least armor value, appreciate those. Yeah, I feel like I should just give evokers maybe like DPS evokers, even for PvP. I give them like a passive where they just take less damage. And maybe they have more healing passive with like their blooms and stuff. Like Werner Brace and maybe their heal, at least like self-heal, right? They could reduce the damage even further if they want to give them more sustained damage. I mean, in PvP, like 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, in an organized team composition, they're good. It's just in a 1v1 duel scenario, they're not really that good. So maybe like if there was like a talent, they're like, all right, you have to choose between damage or great survivability, and just give them like some passive survivability. And they can just kind of tune them around that maybe. I feel like it'd be fantastic. But yeah, they are squishy. They're good, they're strong, but they are squishy. Did I save this one? I don't remember if I did. I'm just gonna save it. Dude, NA is just slamming duels, man. You guys are just cracking right through them. We got 210. Some of them probably duplicates, but 210 recordings, man. Over 200. That is insane, and that's just in the first season too. I'm gonna have to clear those for the beginning of the season, honestly. At some point in the future. What gear? Oh, come on, man. I'm level 60. I can't kill you. I'm literally dead to elemental shield. Literally dead to elemental shield, bro. I didn't think there was an ease behind a lot. Is that Friday is a big day for a lot of things. Actually, Diablo 28 releases. Maybe. But like, I don't know, man. It's just... I don't know. I do think just AU had some days where just like the games weren't really popping, but then NA had like really the fervor to want to play and stuff. But yeah, it might have been like also daylight savings time too, you know, because that's gonna be switching out very soon, and maybe that just gets people like in different moods whenever that happens. It should be like in spring sometime, yeah. Is it spring right now? Technically, like it's March. Technically, it's spring now, right? Yo, hopefully we'll get some news about patch 707 soon, by the way, boys. Also, I gotta play some Outlet, dude. I gotta really go testing that the dispatch buffs, because those are kind of good. Those look really good. But boys, yo, thank you so much for coming by, boys. Thank you so much for watching. It's March, it's probably around 20th. 20th of March would be awesome. Like the earlier the better. I would like to just get an announcement date, man. 20th of March, so like 21st maybe then, yeah. 21st, 22nd, I guess. I think that would be sweet if they did it in March. I feel a lot of people saying probably 4th of April. But I would love to do it in March, man. Just give me the patch a little bit early. Yeah, since you're familiar with the PTR, do you know the primordial stones enabled in PvP? So they are enabled, from what I can tell. But the primordial stones have not been tuned to work or not work or be buffed or debuffed in PvP. They are just trying to figure out their tuning. They're just trying to make sure that the primordial stones work. They're trying to do all those things. But they're not really tuned them to like disable them or reduce some of their value within PvP. Yo, these frogs that are so good. Look at these things. Oh my god. They're so tiny, but they look real pet. They're so good. Oh, I'm definitely getting myself one of those, dude. They're a real Beastmaster pet. They're just this tiny. Look at that. Fierce little frog, dude. That's so good. Normally, it's like a big old pet. Compare. Yeah. This little frog compared to like a normal frog. Oh, yeah. Compared to the big boy. Yeah, for sure. They look literally invisible. Like, if you're not paying attention, they actually look invisible. That's so good. Hey, Dalaran joining again. Are you, Matt? Yo, we're done for the night, by the way. We're done for the night. What the hell is a Russian guy? There's somebody who's screaming in Russian in Orgrimmar somewhere. I have no idea what he said, but I know it's Russian. Is PTR live? This is live, but we're done for the night, my guy. We're done for the night, but this is live. Next week, I'm hoping we do some PTR stuff. Oh, I didn't even notice, but yeah, the pets grow with the bestial rat. The frog barely grows. I do want to get myself some of those. That'll be fantastic, honestly. Yeah. The pets don't really get lusted, do they? Like, we grow with lust, but they don't really lust, do they? But they do get the benefits of lust, right? I think. Yeah. But next week, chat, if you guys are interested, if you copy a character over to PTR and join in next week, we can maybe, if we just have enough 10 people, if you just have 10 people, join us on PTR next week, EU and NA included. Yeah, then we can get some PTR duels done next week. So, get PTR. 1007 PTR specifically. There's two PTRs right now, 1005 and 1007. Is that little frog? Is it tank pet? Is it actually? Yo, what? Hold on. Wait a second. I did see the buff, didn't I? Yeah, it's got endurance training. Why is this thing a tank pet? My goodness, what a cute little tank that thing is. Oh, wow. That's kind of sucks because I don't know if I'll be able to use that pet that much as a marksman hunter or as a survival hunter then. Because you kind of want a leech pet and you want a lust pet. I wish there was this. I mean, I'll still probably get it. I think it'd be hilarious to have one. As BM, definitely having a side pet is awesome. But man, yeah, the Froggy Boy is a tank pet. That's hilarious. Is it only quest? Yeah. But like in dungeons and stuff, you probably want leech better than like survivability. Because they look cool. Yeah, they look awesome, man. They look awesome. If they have like that, what's it? It's like a Mortal Strike effect, then I think actually could be a pretty good PvP pet in general. But I don't really know if they got like a Mortal Strike effect, like with their pet attack. I don't really know what frogs do. I think they just have like a dodge thing, don't they? Have like a dodge ability, maybe? Unless it's got like a lick that reduces enemies' healing. Then that's actually a fantastic PvP pet in that case. Avoidance. Yeah, reduces the swarm of flies. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah, they basically give themselves a little bit more dodge, so they are like a pure tank. Okay, cool. All right, my guy. I'm gonna go for the night, boys. Thank you so much for coming by. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are wonderful, beautiful. Thank you so much for hanging out this evening. I enjoyed these duels a lot, and I'll see you guys next week. Yeah, next week, get PTR, boys. Get PTR. Download PTR. So we can go and do some PTR stuff. Thank you all so much for coming by. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys all next stream. Alrighty? You guys have a good one. See you on stream tomorrow. Peace.
To all the crazy things that I shouldn't mention.